I'm a dude, and I'm inviting you to join me on a podcast about brews.
Does that include stouts?
Yes, of course it includes stouts. Like I was saying, join us every Saturday on the journey into...
Wait a minute. Do you guys do anything about like IPAs?
Yes,
like that?
yes, we do IPAs.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, join us on the Journey into Comics Network for Brews with Dudes.
Whoa, hey, have you guys ever... Do you care if I bring some Zima on?
Yes, I care if you bring Zima. Zima doesn't count. Zima's... Dr. Dongo. Anyway, join us every Saturday for a podcast that delves into the craft brew world.
The following is a Journey to Comics Network production.
I like to stick my dick real high on top of the engine, and it produces a sort of foamy goo right out the tip of my penis.
Warning, Podcastrophe imminent. This is Podcastrophe with Dick and Tyler, and we're coming at you with a fistful of heritage on a podcast where anything goes and there are no safe spaces. This is Podcastrophe.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Podcastrophe, episode 35. I am Dick, and I am with my co-host Tyler today. How
What's
you doing?
up, y'all? Doing pretty good. Got beer in my
Awesome.
hand. Can't believe we've done 35 fucking episodes.
I know. Are we going to get super reminiscent?
No, we're not.
And be like, man, I can't believe we made it this far, like every episode.
No, we got shit to talk about.
Yeah, we got shit to
cool-ass
talk
people
about,
here.
and we're not Journey into Comics.
Wait. Doesn't this being episode 35 mean that you've only done 34? So you're kind of like jumping the gun on the can't believe we've done 35 of these?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Perhaps, but we've
Okay.
done other podcasts.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, okay. I'll just shut up then.
I want to start this show off by... oh, that's a good one. I want to start the show off by... we have a longtime fan of the show, usually here every episode, and she's not in our chat right now, I don't believe. So she can't defend herself, and that's her fault. She
This is
should've-
perfect time.
Yes, perfect time. Long-time giant fan of the show. I'd say third biggest fan of the show, Miss Jennifer Wheeler. We work with her, as most fans, anybody who listens to the show knows, and we usually respond to her in the chat. We work with her. We found out a very important thing, very funny, stupid thing about her today. In her 31 years of life, I actually ran to her today from where I was and asked her how old she was, just so I could use it against her today.
All right.
I was like, Jennifer, how old are you? I was like, you're 31, right? She looks at me and knows exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, she goes, yes. I was like, okay, bye. Ran back. And so I run back and continue on my day. So here we are, and I'm about to drop a bombshell on everybody. Jennifer, in 31 years of life, did not know that Alaska was attached to Canada.
She thought it was an island.
She thought it was an island.
Oh, like the inset maps where everything's down at the bottom, like Hawaii and Alaska are down at the bottom of the map?
Yes.
She never explained why she thought it was an island.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, that was one of my theories. But she asked somebody, like, how do people get to Alaska? Is there like a bridge? And someone responded, yeah, it's called Canada.
Without missing a beat. Without thinking about it.
And she told me this. She told me this saying she asked somebody else, and then she brought this to me, and I'm like, what the fuck, Jennifer?
The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, so
Be normal gay.
that's that.
I don't even know this person, but I'll join you guys in making fun of
This
her.
just goes to show how fucking worthless our public education system is.
To be fair, she went to Brookston.
That's irrelevant. Our public education system is fucking retarded. You know,
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 27, or I'm getting ready to be 27.
You're getting ready to be 27, Dick.
I'm 27, gonna be 28 later this year.
Okay, so I'm older than all of you guys, and I mean, we still had globes. So
I saw a globe once.
yeah, you saw a globe once.
I might have
I
even
think we
touched
had
it.
them too. I'm thinking about it.
The reason I say that, and I'm the king of unpopular opinions and things that piss people off.
You are good at that.
My personal opinion is that teachers are the most overpaid people in the history of the workforce.
It depends.
Overpaid?
Overpaid.
Really?
And I'll tell you why I think that. They get more paid days off and more excused absences, or just days off in general, than anyone else in the world. They get more. I don't feel like going to work today. All right, we'll call in a substitute teacher. No problem. And when the way that I view just life in general, time is worth more than money, because money is an abstract concept anyway. It's an imaginary thing. And especially when we don't have any standard to hold that money against. But time is something that is limited. You have a limited amount of time. So when you are given the freedom to utilize the small amount of time that you have more so than anybody, that's worth more than money as far as I'm concerned. Now, I will agree that they're underpaid in regards to the job that they do, but as a whole, they're the most overpaid people.
You think they have better benefits than they necessarily should because of the paid time off?
Correct.
I like that you brought up the lack of gold or silver standard in something that was totally not related at all. I think that's hilarious.
He's good at that.
I appreciate that.
But they're both abstract things that aren't really defined by anything.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
So that's kind of interesting that they have a relationship at all. But, I mean, that's just because humans are fucked up.
Yes,
stupid.
we are. We are 100% fucked up. I'm not going to ramble about a lot.
I think a lot of the problem with school in general now is the focus on standardized testing.
That is
Yes.
definitely a big
It's not
big
about
issue.
it's not about learning. It's about cranking out test scores, cranking out graduates.
And it was slowly working its way that way when my sister was in school. She's a few years older than me, and it was more intensive when I was in school. And I'm sure you guys are like 5 years behind me, so it was more like that then, and it's even more focused now, where curriculum is only about getting good I-steps or whatever your state's
Fuck I-step.
fucking standardized testing is.
I think it's still I-step.
When I'm a
Well,
fir-
I mean, that's Indiana. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
okay,
Like,
okay.
if there's anybody that listens to
Out of
this
state.
that isn't, from Lafayette.
I'm a firm believer that you go to school not to learn. You go to school to learn to be compliant.
Yeah. To know how to answer the right questions
Correct.
with the right answer, yeah.
And there's a lot of fucked up stuff about school that people don't realize. Like,
Yeah.
do you know why they teach math in school? This is psychology for you. There is literally only one reason that you learn math in your lifetime.
Go for it.
It is the only thing you learn that literally makes you increase the size of your brain matter. It makes your brain grow in size. Nothing else that you learn makes your brain grow in size. Math is the only thing.
Interesting. And that's really cool for me to hear. My grandpa was the head of the math department in Delphi for 30 years. So
Math, bro.
math, bro.
Math.
Yeah, like I hate the fact that it's not about learning. It's about fucking just you're learning to get a good test score. You're not learning
Correct.
to actually learn. Mm-hmm. And that sucks.
Well, and
That sucks.
part of the reason I have such a
So hold on. So that being said, teachers, some of them, not all, are just there to do that. They're just there to help up that test score for your
and they're
school.
there to collect a paycheck.
Yeah, and
First and foremost, teachers are there to collect a paycheck.
yeah, but I mean, there are
large portion.
teachers out there that are like they care about their job. They care about teaching what
Right.
their subject is.
But I think that's a lot like any job, really. I mean, we all have that, where there's people that are just there going through the motions to collect
Correct.
a paycheck, no matter what the job is, and there are people that actually give a shit about whether they do their job right or well, or
I know.
how the company does.
Just like me, like I am at Subaru because I love sealing cars. Like
You're a
it is
fucking idiot.
it is my life's passion.
Yeah, you probably make like half again as much as me and care like a third as much as I do about my job, but
approximately 30%.
yeah, approximately.
That's the issue. I mean, we've all been through the public education system. We've all had very good teachers that go above and beyond to help people. And I don't want to say that are learning challenged, but everybody learns shit different.
Yes.
And it's very easy to see the teachers that put in the time to actually teach people stuff and the teachers that put in the time to collect a paycheck. You know, and unfortunately, my experience with the education system was more so teachers just collecting a paycheck. And, you know, I'm sure that my opinion was a little bit skewed because of my attitude. You know, and it's not me tooting my own horn. A lot of times I was sitting in class and I could have been teaching the class because of the subject matter that they were teaching, which 90% of it is bullshit. So I had a bad attitude out of the gate. And and then you get somebody that doesn't give a fuck about what they're up there talking about. Well, I'm going to challenge you because you're supposed to give a shit and you don't. So there's a lot of issues everywhere. Like always, like I said, I have the unpopular opinion. It's an opinion that you don't hear very often. And
No, most people would say the opposite of what you
Correct.
just said about teachers.
And I'm so anti-conformity that, you know, it just fuels, I would almost say my bias on that opinion that much more because...
But I like the way that you didn't say they were overpaid with like actual currency.
They're definitely not overpaid with
you said
money.
they were overpaid with time.
Yes.
And you know, you're right, nail on the head. Nail on the head.
Before we get too deep down the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
we should probably introduce our guests.
No, it's fine.
The
I
people
like
who've been
being...
talking.
that they've
They've been talking and everything. We got Ryan.
I haven't said shit, so
Ryan Lewis.
Ryan Lewis. Yeah, I drew a blank on your name, and then
that's fine.
Shane back
You
here,
can just call me Puddin'.
vocalist and
I like
bassist
that.
for
Like that.
the band Only Human.
How you guys doing today?
You play bass,
I do play bass.
and you do vocals and guitar.
Do we need to get
I
the
do
sticker
that.
out?
I do those
Did you give the
things.
sticker away?
No, I got the stickers.
What's
Stickers?
I got stickers.
I like stickers.
I need
I
stickers.
actually want to give this to you.
There's a rustling on
This
the
is a
desk. I
gift
don't
for
know.
you. I'll be there for the baton transfer. Go ahead and
just
flip
for
that
you.
bad boy over and read it.
Read it out loud, asshole.
Rule number 2: your bass player is a useless cunt.
That's accurate. That's accurate. I'm actually surprised that he can read that sticker.
Even though I'm the one that like handles mostly everything.
Most of the business, yeah.
Yeah, you're the rare bass player that actually does things.
Wait, you do things?
I do.
God.
It's like the only bass players I can think of that do that is like him and James.
Yeah. I didn't know if we were gonna. Yeah.
So anyway,
James Gates?
Yeah.
James's?
James's, yeah.
I'm curious.
Didn't
You
know
didn't
if we were
know.
gonna like go
My
Go
that
what?
area.
Into what area?
I don't know things.
my interest is peaked.
Stuff and
I don't know
is
what
there-
just happened.
Is there drama?
I don't.
Is there
I don't
drama?
know. Is there drama?
Not
I have
anymore.
no
Well, there
fucking
used to
idea what's
be.
going
No,
on.
that's like
I have a
ancient.
vague
Yeah.
idea. Of
That's
what's going
ancient dumb shit that is
Yeah.
on.
over
With
with.
all the bub shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's
yeah,
old.
between those guys, but
That's
Yeah.
old shit.
that's old shit. It's over with, so far as I know. I mean, whatever. That's none of our business.
It's always our business.
Hey, Tyler.
Make everything.
I vaguely know what's going on.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
It's okay. Just drink. Just
Okay.
drink.
I got
That's
that.
that's what
you
I'll
guys,
do.
you guys are in a band, Only Human.
Yep.
You guys are awesome. Yeah. Only, from what I understand, Only Human
you
came
say
from
something?
the ashes of another band, correct?
Yeah.
Acquiesced oblivion.
Equius to
And I used to work with.
Yeah.
I used to work with the singer from that band, Vance.
Yep.
I didn't know you knew Vance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still have
Unfortunately.
a CD floating around
Unfortunately.
for you. So
You don't need it.
I don't need it.
yeah, you do.
I still don't know.
I think
what to
I
do
can't
with my
remember if
hands.
I've asked you this, but what Vance? I've heard Vance and I've heard a couple of like Cody Clem all talk about Vance as a vocalist and how awesome he was. How was he as a vocalist?
How did Cody know him?
They went to school together.
Oh,
Do I know this?
Interesting.
Vance Park.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Okay.
My wife works with his wife.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
fuck his wife.
Sam.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
My wife also agrees with that statement.
Okay.
So,
Thumbs up, Skylar. We're talking about you.
he's all right. I mean, being pretty much deaf doesn't help.
Yeah.
So it's all
Deafness does not help vocals.
yeah. So it was mostly off of feel. But
Gotcha.
you know, we had a falling out, and then I waited 2 years until I found this dude. So
This dude.
That guy over there.
this guy that's wearing our own T-shirt.
Well, I
You're
didn't
not.
think about
You're wearing a Lost Boys t-shirt.
Sure am.
That's awesome. Somebody asked me about Lost Boys.
Joe.
Joe asked me about the Lost Boys.
I didn't think about being on camera.
Oh,
I totally would not have worn our own shirt, but whatever. Hey, we have this shirt.
We have
It's
this
like
shirt.
for sale and stuff.
Yeah.
Not this one.
give us
What if I
money.
want that?
That specific one might be on sale with for the right
I mean,
price.
for the right price, yeah, like $50. I won't even wash it.
Ooh. Can I pay you more?
Sure, $100.
50's enough.
$100. Let's do
$100
this.
$100 for your must.
I mean,
Yeah.
Must.
Don't buy one of us a
I said
tuner.
must.
yeah,
That's stupid.
I mean,
They're both relevant.
There's only two that are that purple,
Yeah, there's only two this color.
and one's
One big one and one not as big one.
Now you guys were like one of the first Doom Room acts, one of the first booked bands for a show called Botto Fest. It was it was definitely the first time the Doom Room stepped out of the basement and did an outside show.
You see, like, I didn't know all that.
Yeah,
like,
me neither.
I knew that I hadn't heard of the Doom Room before that.
same.
But
The Doom Room started just a couple months before that show. I think the Doom Room started in April of 2013, and that show I think was, I believe, in September.
yeah, some like
So-
recent kind words in a GoFundMe from
Oh,
Nick.
yep.
Yes.
Kind of unveiled that to me, and I didn't
Yeah.
realize that we were that early. And
And how far into the band's history is that?
that was
Because
what-
that was
what
5
that?
years ago.
No, that was
2 years.
That was 2013.
Yeah, you said
when
5 years.
we worked with Nick.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening to Dick at that point.
Oh, okay.
It's important that you
I
listen
do
to
that
each other.
Yeah. Some hurt feelings now.
I've been trying to hurt his feelings all day.
Congratulations,
I
you
don't
just
have
got
them.
there.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
says
about
he
2
doesn't
years.
have. He says he
Don't
doesn't have
them. I mean, I
feelings.
do, but they're
But
only positive feelings.
You see, like the tears welling up in his eyes. But yeah, it was like 2
I had
years
eye
in.
drops.
Like 2 years in, we hadn't released anything yet.
Okay.
I don't even know what we were playing at that time. I don't remember
You
what
guys were
our set
playing-
list was like.
We were
Was it mostly originals at that
yeah.
time?
By 2013, it was all originals. We cut out
Maybe
all-
like one.
we played Hurt out still just because people asked us to,
Oh yeah.
and then occasionally we threw out like a 3 Days Grace song just because those were fun to play.
Ugh.
Dude, home is fun as fuck to play. I'm good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like
that's
home.
fine.
Yeah, you guys. I remember you. I definitely remember you guys played Usurper. that
Yeah,
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
like
was-
Reflections. I Want You Back, Usurper, World Slayer. Those are like some of the first songs that we wrote.
Really?
There's a song
So-
we don't play anymore. It's a dead
Yeah, Burden.
burden.
I don't know that song. I might recognize it if I heard it. But...
Well, it was actually an Acquiesced Oblivion song,
ah,
Yeah,
and we like took out a part and added a different part and
gotcha.
rearranged
Yep.
and changed the melodies and stuff.
you guys have gone through quite a lot of lineup changes. You two being like the only original.
you're
members.
welcome. Because I'm an asshole to work with. Apparently,
Is
I'll
it-
take all the blame. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like you say that, but half the people that have quit have been like, "Well, Shane writes everything, and I feel left out."
But you don't write everything.
Well,
They're just
I mean,
fucking
like,
retarded.
well,
Wait, is that okay? No, I'm just playing.
the,
We're not politically correct.
the
here.
last couple guys that quit. I think, as far as that goes, it was more a misunderstanding because that's the stuff that we haven't even shown anyone yet. Really, that everybody that's been in the band has seen.
Right.
like isn't done. It's not like finished product. So I mean that was kind of
Okay.
me presenting something and then
You know, we're
people being
supposed
like,
to,
"Oh, you're not letting me have my
Yeah.
say in it." But you know, whatever.
I mean, I did that with.
But
the
yeah,
new
we've had.
song.
Oh yeah,
Switch and rotate this.
Yeah.
Play this part more.
which I'm totally fine with and okay with. But
There's
yeah,
not.
we've had.
I believe there. So from my experience in bands, like I've had people write full songs.
Yeah.
As just something to
Or just
present to the band.
It
yeah,
depends
that's usually
on
what we do.
It depends on like what you want as another member of the band, because like I've never been in that situation where somebody brought something complete into me and was like, "This is what we're doing."
Yeah.
And I mean, I imagine I would feel the same way. I'd be like, I don't really care for that because I never had a word in.
I guess
edgewise.
it's all a matter of like how you approach your presentation to the band. Like it's obviously you don't go, "This is what, hey, I wrote this song. Here we go."
right. Right.
It's all a matter of like, "Hey, here's the song. It's either an idea or it can be a song."
If everybody
And,
is totally okay with everything,
we can rearrange
See,
it. We can change some things up.
I think that's why, like, when you say, "Hey, I wrote this," I instantly go, "Okay, let's listen to it," just because
Yeah.
I know he's going to be open to suggestions.
yeah,
Well, everybody has their dynamic.
Yeah.
right.
You know, I can't participate in this conversation as much as everybody else because I'm musically inept. You know, I don't get it. I can't play it. I can't sing. And
You
Yeah.
sing to me
I
all the
can't
time.
sing.
I sing to
either,
you
it's
all the
fine.
time because you accept me. No one
For
else
who
would
he is.
accept me.
Yeah, but
literally,
to be
people's
f-
ears bleed when I sing.
To be
so-
fair, I mean, like, whether they accept it or not, you're gonna sing to them.
That's true. You're not. I mean, you're not wrong, but I feel like everybody has to figure out their dynamic. You know, there's always going
Yes.
to be, and I hate to use the term, but there's always going to be the alpha presence, and
Always.
if you can find common ground with those people, you know, and say, hey, this is my ideas. This is something that, you know, I've kind of sat down and, you know, put pen to paper or whatever. What do you think about it? You either have the person that shits on it immediately because they weren't the one doing it, or the people that say, yeah, well, check it out. You know, and obviously the latter of what I said is, you know, the preferable one. Thank you. But you got to figure out your dynamic. You know, it either works or it
You
doesn't
gotta
work.
figure out the dynamic, and you gotta know who you're approaching.
Correct.
You got like in the art of reading people is lost on a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to handle. Like a lot of people don't understand how I get along with some people. They're like, I don't see how you like that guy. He's a fucking dickhead. He's an asshole. Like
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 you.
Ryan.
We have
Like
we
Ryan.
have a coworker. His name is Eddie.
yeah, he's a fucking douchebag.
He's been quite the douchebag lately, and I will agree. But at first, when you would fucking rag on him, like fuck him, and all that shit. He doesn't have Facebook. I'm not worried about this shit. But
I don't think he is either.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
yeah, you just fuck him. He's a fucking dickhead. He's a douchebag. And I'm just like, man, he fucking hates this guy. I just don't see it. But at the same time, I'm like, I just know how to. I'm the guy that gets along with anybody.
And I'm normally that guy too, but I have boundaries that people don't cross.
Yeah.
You don't shit on somebody for no reason. You don't personally attack somebody because you're slightly upset with maybe the way that something went. Mm-hmm. And thirdly, you don't fucking be the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah,
I do
Yeah,
not.
He does that a lot.
I do not have any fucking tolerance whatsoever for hypocrites. And
Fuck hypocrisy.
I say this, and I don't even know how to put it. We are all hypocrites at some point, at some time, during some situation. We are all hypocrites in one way or another. But the people that are habitual hypocrites, that, you know, go out of their way to be hypocrites, I can't fucking stand it. And he's one of those fucking people.
Yeah.
You know, challenge. My stance is always challenge authority. Always. You know. But if you're challenging people for no fucking reason when you're doing the exact same things, it's fucking unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back to the time thing that I touched on. Why waste your fucking time getting worked up about something that affects your life zero,
That's why.
and
I'm so
go out of
chill.
your way to ruin fucking other people's daily experiences just because you're a little bit upset? Fuck yourself.
Yep.
You know, I have no fucking tolerance for that shit.
I agree.
I feel you.
I agree. And I also agree. He's been quite the douche nozzle lately.
For no fucking reason.
For no reason. Yeah. I mean,
What an asshole.
He's in his fucking douche canoe floating down the fucking douche river throwing fucking douche shit out of his douche canoe. Douche.
Douche.
all right, back to
Douche.
you guys.
Yeah, back to you guys. I'm
Back to
sorry.
you guys.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah,
I had
anyway.
to rant, but God damn.
We've had tons of members.
Yeah. And you tried to bring me in, and I'm
Well,
like,
I mean,
don't do that.
You don't want this guy.
You don't want me.
He's not a regular gay.
He's not a regular gay.
He's not a regular gay.
Be a normal gay. Hey, Devin's watching.
What? We should just shut it off now.
Fuck you, Devin.
Fuck you,
I don't
Devin.
know you, but I'm just conforming.
Yep. The guy that just ranted about being a nonconformist was like, whatever, fuck this guy.
Peer pressure, okay? I'm sorry.
No, but we've had tons of members. We've had 4 other guitarists,
Yeah.
four other guitarists, other than myself,
Yeah.
that are all gone. One guy that we never announced was in the band, but we basically told him that he was in the band that played guitar, and he's gone.
Jeebus.
Yep, Jeebus. We're on our second drummer.
Yep. We had to get a drum kit for because he sold his before I asked.
Yep. Yeah, he literally like a month or two before
Irony.
he didn't have room for it, needed money for a rent.
And sold it. I was like, dude,
Sold his
we
drum
will
kit?
Find you a drum set. And that's how we got Kyle.
That's how we got Kyle.
Yeah.
Now that drum set's gone.
Yeah, now that drum set's gone. Let's talk about that.
Oh,
That sucks, but we got to talk about it.
So like a week and a half ago, we practiced at our friend Cherokee Stick's house.
Woo.
We practiced in his garage on Fridays, and we practiced after the Jerry Lee's show, which I guess is the North End pub now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that's a thing.
that's the thing. We left, and I went and had dinner downtown. I'm on my way back home, and I get a text message from Cherokee. Hey, so my house is burning down. I was like, whatever, man. That's bullshit. He's like, no, seriously, and sent me a picture. So I texted him. I was like, hey, are you guys okay? Did everybody get out? He didn't answer. I called him. He didn't answer.
Yeah,
So I just drove over there.
And
I was like, obviously, he's either busy or something is happening.
Right.
In the heat of the moment,
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
busy.
You had to
Yeah,
throw
definitely.
a fucking pun in there. You had to fucking do it.
Well, I
It's
started
fucking
saying
Wednesday.
it.
You can't
I
say
started
that.
saying it, and I'm like, wait, that's a pun. I'm gonna.
I
say
love
it
that you
again.
brought Asia into this, by the
Yeah.
way.
It's not Tuesday. You can't say that.
Fucking dragons and shit.
Picking a poke. I'm sorry. You guys don't watch that. No. Okay. Anyway.
You're talking about Supernatural.
yes.
Yeah, I'm fucking
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. All right. Anyway.
I suck.
Yeah, you do.
I suck.
I get to his house and it's pretty much gone. You know, it's still on fire. The firefighters are putting it out. And like 99% of our gear was in there. He had a pretty sick drum set himself in there.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost his whole family lost all his stuff. He's got a wife and a son. His son's like 22, I want to say. He had like a ridiculous gaming rig in there, like over $5,000
Shit.
gaming
God
rig that he put together himself. Cherokee had he's a Kiss fan. He had a bunch of memorabilia, some signed shit and
That
stuff like that.
sucks.
That's all gone, man. Like they got hit real hard. We got hit a little bit. Nobody came out unscathed, right?
Yeah.
So it was pretty rough. But they all made it out. They got their dog out. They think their cat didn't make it, but they haven't found it, so they don't know. But the people made it out. The dog made it out. So that's pretty
nobody
important.
was hurt.
Yeah,
was the
nobody was
important
hurt.
thing.
Yeah, and like, from what he's told me about going through the aftermath, it definitely would have been fatal. Like other than the smoke, like there was some caving in of shit that went through his son's room, and his son was asleep when it started. So I mean, it could have been.
It was fairly late Friday night.
It was like 10 o'clock, but
Okay.
his son keeps a weird schedule because he streams pretty much for a living.
Yeah.
So he doesn't keep normal hours. So he was asleep at like 9 or 10 o'clock or whatever, but it started around 10, I think, and his room was like decimated by fire and like shit falling in it. So like it could have been a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, because I left there at like 9:30.
Yeah, he said that Ryan left. He put all their vehicles that they put in the garage back in the garage, and he went over to his neighbor's. Cherokee went over to his neighbor's house to have a beer, and before he was done with that first beer, which I mean, this guy will suck him down like a fucking champion.
Yeah.
Okay, he is a champion drinker. Before he was done with one beer,
What?
2 beers,
What?
a margarita.
What?
God, you guys are fucking awesome. I mean, this is a really sad, somber moment, but God, you guys are fucking awesome.
Thanks. So
Why have they not been on before?
I know.
yeah,
I know. we Ryan and I joked about like way long ago about having Devin and you on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because apparently you two will just go at it with each other,
Oh yeah.
arguing.
Oh yeah.
I like to argue with people. It's fun.
Yeah. And when they both think they're right.
Same.
So,
Well, see, I almost wanted to start an argument with you, even though I mostly agreed with you about the teacher thing.
I would have been
So
okay with that. I mean, that's.
I like to do that too.
That's the thing, though. People, especially now in today, and I don't mean to tangent, but in today's society, people are so quick to argue, but they don't listen to the other person or other people's perspective. It's immediately.
No, you.
It's immediately.
Right.
My opinion is fact. What you are saying is fucking wrong.
Well, to go to that point, you started with the teachers are underpaid or overpaid, and I started to be like, but I'll listen.
I think
I'll
we
listen
all-
to what he's saying.
I was like, what? I
But-
did not know that was the route you were going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with people don't listen to what other people are saying, and then they just want to disagree either because they're contrarian or because they don't like the person.
That's right. I didn't mean to get us on a tangent, but
Yeah, I don't
sometimes
know.
I just can't help it.
Oh yeah, so
We're talking about the
fire.
accident.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So before he was done with his first beer, his wife came running out of the house, and she was asleep, screaming that the house was on fire. So him and his neighbors ran over there, tried to do what they could, got his son out, got the dog out. There was no way they could do anything about the fire because of where it was and everything. Danger of firearms and stuff like that.
Right.
So, yeah, because he had a pistol sitting like right where the fucking fire was, and they were trying to put it out, and he had to drag his neighbors out because he was worried they were going to get shot or
Right.
hit by something. So, yeah, it was a mess, man. Like, the garage was completely gone. All that was standing was a cinder block and a couple timbers here and there. He said that the bass hoops on his kick drums, because he had double kick drums, were still standing, but that was all that was left of his kit. His cymbals were like warped and shit, like weird saggy, like Salvador Dali shapes and shit. It was bad. Like, I've seen pictures of his wife's truck. She had a truck. It was a Ford Flex, like, crossover. And, like, the skin was gone. Like, all the, aluminum or whatever, or plastic, whatever, depending on where it is on the car, skin was gone. You could see, like, the inside of the tailgate and shit. Like, it got hot in that bitch. Everything was fucking wrecked.
Yeah. It sucks. That really sucks because, like, I've been over there. I've practiced with you guys.
Right.
Yeah, you've been there.
And like Cherokee, he's a great dude. He'll talk your ear off. But damn it, he's
especially once he's sucked down 4 or 5 of those.
He's such a cool dude. And he's so supportive.
Oh,
yeah,
he's super supportive dude.
No, I mean
he jumped on just like he's like, here, come practice here because we lost our rehearsal space.
Yeah,
he's like, just come practice here, and every time we would show up, there was something new that he's done to that garage.
Yeah, because
to make it more like home. For us.
Ryan showed me a video. Oh,
shout out to Kyle Elliott, the best member of Only Human.
Whoa!
Fuck
Wait
you,
a minute!
Kyle.
Wait a minute!
He is here and he is in the chat.
Best member. The what about the guys in the room?
I was fucking with you guys so hard the night before.
Yeah, the night before.
The
that
night
was our
before
first
the show.
show.
Yeah, that was our first show back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. Sorry.
I was fucking with you guys so hard because after every song I was like, "Good job, Kyle."
Yeah.
And then
Fucking heckling.
Got a couple other people to do it. It
Yeah,
was
well,
great.
he needs it a little bit more.
Do they know
I
what
guess.
caused the fire?
They actually ruled it undetermined, which is crazy. They think that it was a electrical thing. He had, like, the year prior, had his service updated to the house, and when they put it in, they don't know if they put it in wrong or something got scraped or something like that. But it looked like, I don't know if anybody knows this, but your main lines that run into your house are actually aluminum, not copper.
Okay.
And they just found pools of aluminum all over the place. And they thought that it got so hot that it was basically molten metal and came through the casing into the attic and immediately just set the whole attic on fire. And then it went down instead of, like, starting at, like, an outlet. Because you think of, like, movies and TV shows and shit. You think of a electrical fire starting in an outlet,
Right.
Or like a lamp falling over or something. But this was, like, in the attic. The line that comes in is, like, the hottest fucking line in your house.
Right.
Just fell on fire into the attic.
I'm guessing there's like tons of insulation up there.
Oh yeah,
Just all the.
Oh yeah, just like went up
in flames.
Yep.
Fuck.
I mean, even if it was like resistant, like treated stuff that's not supposed to catch fire, you drop fucking molten aluminum on it, it's probably gonna catch fire anyway. And
Molten
if it doesn't,
things do that.
it's gonna go through it or around it and hit wood, which is what houses are made out of, and catch that shit on fire.
I gotta say, I gotta have you guys on here more often because like our chat is like lit up with this person join, hey, gross,
Dope.
hey,
Weird.
Well, I would like to
emojis.
have you guys on, just not to bring people to our show, but for the conversation. I would love to debate things with you
Sweet.
because I feel like when I say all the unpopular shit that I say, you wouldn't be quick to just fucking.
I wouldn't.
I've heard enough.
I wouldn't coddle or deny you. I would like listen to what you had to say, and if I had an educated opinion, I would let you know.
Educated opinions are hard to find today.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So now that we're done having this bromance,
Yeah, do you want to go in the other room? I mean,
Oh my God.
you and I can step out for a minute if
Okay.
we need to.
well, it's been a while.
oh shit. Cough.
So I have a music question for you two,
Go for it.
because I don't respect anything musically this guy's done. If,
Damn.
He's shared a stage with us a couple times.
Yeah.
how bad was that? But I kid. But if you were going to Okay, so say I walked up to you and I said, "Hey, man, I really want to get into music. You know, whether it's vocally or I want to learn to play an instrument."
Oh, you want to play music?
Yep.
Okay.
What would be the first thing that you would say to somebody like me that, like I said earlier, is musically inept?
You should probably take some kind of lessons. It's really hard to start on your own, especially if you have no grasp on anything whatsoever. I struggled with that for a long time with guitar. That was what I started on. Well, I mean, like, I always sang and stuff, but, like, my mom just, like, sings along to the radio and shit, so I picked that up from her, and I always did, like, music in school and stuff. So, I mean, that's usually what that focuses on, unless you do band. So usually, choir or whatever.
Right.
So that came naturally to me, but playing guitar, it took me a long time before I could play anything that resembled a song, trying to do it by myself. I did it by myself, but I don't think it was easy enough that most people just starting out try to dive into that, And that goes for anything if you've never had any kind of experience with it. Like, I mean, everybody kind of like sings along in the car a little bit, or, maybe sings in the shower, but actually trying to sing right or well is totally different without any kind of instruction. YouTube is a wonderful fucking resource.
Honestly, these days, yes.
It's almost like having a personal teacher.
Yeah.
If you find somebody that's actually good at it and connects with you,
you'll go on there and you'll see like 20 different people that are saying the exact same thing
in different ways.
But one of them is going to say it in the way that it clicks in your head.
Right, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the person that connects with you, because even if you do go and get professional lessons, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to learn anything, because just like we were saying earlier about teachers, it's the same thing. It literally is teaching, but it's even a little different because they're not teaching you for a standardized test. They're trying to make you learn something. And the way that they say it might not click with you versus, some random guy on fucking YouTube,
Okay.
So that's what I would suggest, and explore different genres and stuff, because you might, listen to hip hop or rock or country or whatever, but that might not necessarily be what you're good at.
Might not be your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it might not actually be your wheelhouse or your range, vocally or guitar or bass or drums or whatever.
I've always approached vocals from the perspective of everybody was like, oh, I couldn't sing to save my life. I'm like, well, learn how to. You can do that. It's like, oh, I have a terrible voice. Yeah, but you can literally train your voice to be good.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
the voice is a muscle. It has to be developed.
Yeah, it is. But you also have your own voice.
Yes.
You
got to learn to work your voice.
You need to think about that. Like, look at like Tom Waits or fucking, goddamn it, why is his name escaping me? The fucking 60s, like, more poetry than singing.
Oh, Bob Dylan?
Yeah, Bob Dylan.
Terrible voice.
Yeah, people.
I hate Bob Dylan.
Yeah, but
I respect the fuck out of him.
Exactly, like, it not necessarily a pleasing voice. It doesn't sound like fucking Beyonce, but
Right.
Beyonce actually probably doesn't sound like Beyonce.
No.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's not necessarily pleasing voice, but they get their point across in a musical way with what is within their ability. So, if you want to do it, you can do it. You just got to find your range and how you can do it that works with your voice or your ability, if you're playing an instrument.
I like that when I asked you that question, the first thing you said, or the first thing that you didn't say was, well, you just have to work really hard.
Well, no shit.
It's sad that a lot of times you have somebody that's interested in something, and they go to somebody that they respect, and they say, okay, I want to do this, and almost always the first thing they say is, well, you got to work really hard. That goes without saying, not everyone is naturally gifted at everything.
Right.
So I appreciate the fact that that's not the first thing that you said.
Yeah, I mean, it is part of it, but that's, I think, obviously, like you said, it kind of goes without saying with any kind of like skill. But then you do have people that don't associate music necessarily with skill. They associate it with fame, and they think that if they can be as talented or as skillful as someone else, then they can be rich and famous.
Right.
And that's a lot of people like that handle that question that way. I feel like that they're like kind of trying to sweep away those people that are just looking to be, you know, in the position that the person they're looking up to is.
I would agree with
Obviously,
that.
I'm not in that position at all. I fucking work a regular job, and I've never been
Same.
paid a handsome ransom for. I don't know why I just rhymed that. That was terrible.
I like that you rhymed it.
For playing a show, but actually,
be a
like
normal
none of us have actually like taken pay. It's always gone back into merch or gas or something, you know.
Yep.
So
That's why it took us so long to get merch.
yeah, because we were always just like, you know, getting like $50-$60 and then like putting it back in
And the
3
band
cars
was what?
fucking gas tanks,
Right.
or buying the first the drum set that Kyle played on.
Yep.
But yeah, like I think that's a big part of the reason that people in a position of fame say that is to just kind of like shoot down people that are looking for the fast track to money.
I've never thought about it that way, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's a lot of hard work to get to where I am, son, and you know, and then a bunch of people are gonna be like, fuck that, I'm gonna
Right.
go play the lottery. Well, good luck. You'll be richer than I am.
See you later.
Somebody's mashing down the fucking reacts on their chat.
React. It's probably Kyle.
There was like a happy, a laugh, and there was an angry out of nowhere.
I wish there was a dick react.
I found a new one today. So I've been using whenever I'm reacting to somebody via comment, and I usually use the Ugandan Knuckles spits. I found this little gem.
Oh god.
It's Phil Anselmo.
It's so dope. I want that.
Have you seen the Ugandan Knuckles one?
No.
Let me find it. I'm getting close.
You like that cookies and cream nuggets?
It's all right. It's kind of weird.
Oh. Yeah. I have seen you use that one.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't realize that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Devin says handsome ransom. For those in the
put that
live
on a
feed,
t-shirt.
Handsome
feel
ransom.
free to comment like crazy, ask us questions, talk to us. We'll respond in a timely manner.
Yeah,
Maybe.
if somebody has
Maybe.
a question
Thank you for saying that.
Maybe
or a subject for
subject
us to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, this cookies and cream, it actually reminds me a few weeks ago at a restaurant in Frankfurt some of my friends go to, they had a bad keg of, I can't remember what the fuck the name of it is. All the names of their beers that they get there anyway have like something to do with cats. And it was like some chocolate stout, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, you should come over. We got a free beer sitting here for you. I'm like, okay. So I showed up. And they get this fucking mug full of beer out of the fridge and set it down. I was like, wait a minute, what? I'm like, so we got to warn you, it's kind of fucked up. Okay. And it was this chocolate. It was supposed to be like chocolate milk beer. Stout. And it literally just tasted like you were drinking out of a fucking bottle of Nesquik. Like it was,
shit.
it was, I don't know if they if it was blown and it was flat and that made it do that, or if it was like they put too much of the mixture to flavor it. in when they brewed it or what, but it was fucking awful. And it just tastes like I had a 32-ounce mug of fucking like Nestle chocolate mix with no milk in it.
Oh shit!
I was just like, fuck me, this is terrible. I drank the whole thing though.
God damn it, you're a champion.
It's fucking free, man.
Hell
You can't beat that shit.
I really enjoyed the cookies and cream, and I'm not a stout guy. I'm not a milk stout guy. I enjoyed that one because they used a little bit more vanilla and lactose, or vanilla and
taste that.
It seemed like it was a little more effervescent than normal stout.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably what threw me off a little bit on it.
Really
I mean, like
smooth.
the taste is good. What's this?
It's pretty milkshake from.
What's IPA?
Pretty milkshake. It's a pretty awkward milkshake. Brewlink.
Thank you, Brewlink.
Oh, that's pretty tasty.
I suggested a Brewlink beer to my friend Scott earlier. He was like, "Hey, does Barberry on 350 have anything good?" I was like, "No, but 350 Liquors has zombie dust." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'll go there." He's like, "Anything you think I would like there?" I'm like, "Well, they have Nutter Cup, which is a peanut butter stout, a peanut butter porter
From
chocolate peanut butter porter from Brewlink."
Mm-hmm.
I've talked about it on
It's
the show
tasty.
before. Yeah, it's really tasty.
I don't remember you talking about that. I
It was
need
the
to get
episode.
to it.
It was one of the episodes with Richard.
They had it on tap at North End Pub.
Yeah, North End Pub.
Okay.
Last
Jerry
like,
Lee's.
couple Thursdays
Formerly
ago.
Jerry Lee's.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
They got a ton of it at 350
The
Liquors.
first time that I tasted this, there was almost no vanilla. It was very bland, and I didn't care for it. And then every time that I've had one or tasted a little bit after that, I've really dug it.
Is that local or not local, but like in Indiana?
That's
Plainfield.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fairly local.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I never encountered really until recently, with like that, from what he said, and some of these other Indiana breweries, is like a
Jesus Christ.
like a inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen like that much, like the keg I just talked about, and like you just said about that. And I've had a couple of other canned things from different breweries in Indiana, and like I don't know if it's a race to get stuff out, or like poor quality control, or like, you know, all the stuff that I heard about 450 having issues with canning, and other companies having same issues with canning. I didn't know if it was a can thing,
Could
but
be.
then like I said about the keg, that's not. I mean, that's a pretty normal procedure for most places to put
Right.
stuff in kegs. I mean, I know like if you're bottling in your fucking garage, you usually use bottles, but you know, a legit brewery shouldn't have a problem with kegs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird, because like I've drank, you know, craft beers for a few years, and I'd never seen like the inconsistency that I've seen like this year and the end of last year.
Really interesting. So I told our chat to ask us questions and shit. Of course, Devin responds with, "If y'all had to go 9 rounds of bare knuckle boxing, who do you think would win, battle royale style?"
Wait, of like the four of us?
Yeah.
I don't want to be the first one to answer.
We're just like looking at each other for those
Is this
listening.
about to
Wait.
happen?
Like battle royal, like is
we're
anything? Hold on, is anything? Is anything like
Make sure and stretch your
legal, or is
hammy.
it just literally just bare
Stretch your
knuckles? Just bare knuckles?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
I'm guessing
Ryan can't pull a knife on us?
Yes.
Oh, I'm fucked.
like
No.
we just
Okay.
we just throw down. Right
I
now.
win then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you're that confident.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I could take you.
I mean, like I don't know him very well, but like,
He's small. He's a small guy, but man, he's got some rage.
yeah.
He's got some rage.
I have a lot of pent up anger. And I'm really strong. But other than that, I'm a piece of shit.
We're like the same person or something. It's weirding me out.
Awesome. I'm glad that I have this show.
Maybe we
too.
were once one person and now we've been split into two.
Some like Dr. Osterman shit.
This
Okay.
is beyond two souls right now. I've never played that game. I don't
Get
know
the
Okay.
fuck out.
I just know the title,
Leave.
and
Like,
I wanted to
what
make
the
it
fuck?
fun.
I wanted to make.
It's what you live for, isn't it?
I live for the pun. Yeah, I don't know who would win.
Personally, I'm giving it to either of us.
Yeah.
You don't have a chance. I would kill you in the first 30 seconds.
No.
You've argued with me so much in the
No.
last 2 weeks that I want to murder you right now.
So it's going to be
Oh,
like
you got your own. Okay.
we both turn on the person that came with us and then face each other.
There can only be one. We have
Because I'm worried about you pulling a knife and cheating.
Wow,
Yeah, so-
that is fucking
Oh,
hilarious.
the same thing.
Because that's exactly what Devin just said. I vote Ryan because he won't follow rules and he'll end up stabbing everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to knock Ryan out because I don't want him to pull a knife. And then, like, you know, once he's cleaned you up, then it'll be on.
Do you think these things are exploding because of like the lactose or something? And it's been a few weeks.
I don't know. I've never had lactose anything explode. I mean,
Okay, I don't know. That's just something.
milk is acidic, but lactose is not.
Because
so there's no reason.
We both got these beers on the same day, and both of them exploded.
Yeah, there's a mess on the ground in front of me.
Miss.
It's from the beer, not from me.
Actually,
He shit on the floor.
Yep. I blamed it on the beer.
So Battle Royale, I don't know. I think I would last at least a little bit. I'm not saying I would win.
Well, I mean, I don't think I said that
I would
it would
fucking
be
throw
like
down.
instant.
there can only be one.
I know, but I'm just saying I would throw down.
I'm putting somebody through your fucking computer desk.
Okay.
Powerbomb
Okay.
or Spinebuster.
God, we are the same person. But
I'm glad this show brings people together.
you know, on the history of the show, I'm a big proponent of Thunderdome.
Yes.
And
It's been a while since you brought up Thunderdome.
well, and this is the perfect opportunity for me to throw my propaganda out there.
Oh shit.
I think that we should institute Thunderdome in our society because think about all the shit that would be solved really quickly.
Yeah.
You know, I want fucking weed legalized in Indiana. I'm gonna fucking challenge the governor to fucking Thunderdome. If he dies, then people
dies.
can smoke a harmless plant.
If he dies, he dies.
God damn it! He's my partner now. You have been
to be fair, I
replaced.
started that.
But
I started that quote,
you know,
so
think
fuck
of,
you.
Think about all the things that Thunderdome could solve.
Get off my lawn! No, you.
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
You know, fuck. We need Thunderdome.
Fucking drops out of the sky. There's just like drones running around
Yes.
with like mini Thunderdomes.
Yes.
It's like,
God damn it.
get in.
You don't even have a choice. You're just in it. The moment Thunderdome is uttered, you're in it.
Like crashes through people's houses and shit.
Yeah, like the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I
God.
mean, you gotta like put like an age limit on it because you know there'd be like a bunch of little kids being like, "Fucking Thunderdome, Mom! I don't want to go to bed."
No, you allow that shit to happen.
No, well, I mean, like, you know, but then Mom has to kill them.
They probably
Then their
deserved
siblings will fucking go to bed. God damn it!
It. Yeah.
Fucking thinning the herd.
Yeah, a little
All right,
population
fine.
control coming
Okay.
at
Then
you.
that's exactly like one of the
Name my kids.
that's one of the main reasons you want Thunderdome is population control.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So I have this, and I used it as my closing thought.
Hold on, before you get into this, we got Devin's thoughts on the Battle Royale again. Shane has a big old head, so I feel like he can take lots of shots to the head, and Dick would have the most stamina. Damn right. Tyler is
It's not
the dark,
the kind
Tyler
of
is the
stamina
dark
we're
horse.
talking about.
You are the dark horse.
No one knows me.
And you're the rebel who's just gonna stab everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, but go on.
But I
Fair.
have this.
These are all good
I have
assumptions.
this idea that I believe Earth is a prison. You know, I closed the show last week with this. I feel like we as a species need to really focus on, you know, we're already propagating this planet at an unprecedented level. I mean, we're almost breeding faster than rats.
We are a plague.
It's exponential.
We are an infestation.
So I feel like we should really focus our efforts on breaking out of this prison and propagating the stars. You know, we
are like an HIV virus attacking a cell, and we're growing within the cell, but eventually we need to burst forth as millions and throughout and go.
Yeah, we need to
cells.
infect the galaxy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it's not even
We're a plague.
I'm not even saying this to continue our species, because realistically, I mean, if you really want me to go unpopular opinion, the best thing that could happen to the Earth is our species is wiped clean.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, but not by nuclear fire, because that would destroy everything else.
Right.
It's got to be like some kind of like human-only plague, or like starvation or conventional warfare. Nukes would destroy everything, and that would destroy the planet. Eventually, stuff would come back.
Right.
So in some way, shape, or form, there would be life, but it would be fucked up, and it would be a long time.
And the wise
wouldn't be.
In the wise words of Ian Malcolm,
Life
will
finds
find
a way.
Thank you. But I that's the way that I look at the Earth. It's a prison. We know more about space than we know about the ocean.
Yeah.
Why are we not...
We think we know more about space.
Thank you. Why are we not trying to populate the stars? We're worried about what fucking Trump is doing. I'm sorry, folks. Fukushima is still fucking leaking radiation into the fucking Earth. It's going into the ocean. It's pounding the fucking California coast. Why do we care about Trump getting pissed on by Russian hookers? I don't give a fuck. We have a leaking fucking radioactive plant.
Not to mention, none of that happened during his presidencies. Who gives a fuck? He wasn't using any kind of
God, thank you.
any kind of like political power to do that.
We don't give a shit about Bill Clinton flying to the Virgin Islands and fucking 13-year-old girls, but we care about Donald Trump getting pissed on.
I never heard that, actually.
Yeah, it's been confirmed.
Wow. What?
Every year he flies to the Virgin Islands and fucks underage.
Oh, there's
people.
tons of dudes that do that.
Right. But that
he's
is
one
a
of them.
problem.
Yeah,
That
no,
is a
I mean, that's
problem.
fucked
Donald Trump
up.
getting pissed on by hookers
Especially
is
if he
not
was
a problem.
Especially if he was doing it while he was president.
Right.
You know, I mean, even before that, when he was a governor or whatever.
Right. But I mean, while I'm on fucking Bill Clinton.
Oh boy.
The issue is not the fact that Bill Clinton fucked Monica Lewinsky in the
lied about
fucking
it.
Oval Office. The fact is that he lied about it under oath. I don't give a fuck what that guy does in his personal time. But if you're lying under oath, that is a problem because it sets the precedent. Well, what else are you going to lie about? You know, that's why Bill Clinton got impeached. You know, perjury is a real fucking thing. It is serious.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck about what Donald Trump is doing. Okay?
Yep.
So, and it always fucking burns my ass. The people are like, well, Bernie Sanders should have won. He could have done all this stuff.
Yep.
15,000 veterans died waiting on the fucking list for healthcare while Bernie Sanders was the chairman of Veteran Affairs.
That's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
I did not know that.
Yes. And that's not even the real number. That's just that's the closest number that I could throw out. A lot of fucking people died while the guy that has lived on government assistance his entire life and never done anything politically that fucking matters was in charge of taking care of people that have taken care of us. They died.
The VA is fucked up anyway.
Yes.
I mean, like,
Absolutely,
you can ask, like, you know, most veterans, and they will tell you that if they went through the VA to have something done, or, you know, even get a fucking checkup for free,
Yep.
that they had to wait forever, or they never got it done. My dad is actually a veteran. He wasn't wartime or anything, but he does have a little bit of disability from being in like the 80s and them not having all the kind of like OSHA things that we're used to now, where, like, you know, if it's over this dB, you have to wear hearing protection. He was in the engine room of a fucking...
Tyler, you became an OSHA this week.
Fuck, I can't remember.
No, I didn't.
Oh, really? You weren't an OSHA?
Just first aid. And the term in the manufacturing industry is recordable, not OSHA recordable. It's shortened to recordable. Not
Yeah.
Subaru's
tried
the
to-
only ones that used it.
He tried to kill himself at work.
Oh, good job.
Via car body.
Oh shit.
Oh, nice.
Because that's all it is when it gets to us, is just a body. It's still
Right.
razor sharp metal.
Yeah.
And
Right,
he
it's not been
he
trimmed
just said,
or
he said, I'm ending
dressed.
it, and slit his wrist on the car door.
Really wanted to leave work.
Yeah, I had enough that day. I couldn't take it anymore. And I still had to go back to work and finish the day.
Yeah.
But, yeah, my father is a 100% disabled veteran.
Oh, damn.
And he's not physically disabled, but the way that the VA figures it is they separate it by body part, they separate it by disability, and they put you on a chart. If you have 30% use of your hearing, you are 25% disabled. If you have loss of vision in an eye, that gets you 40% disability. And then you have to meet or exceed 100% before you get full
benefits.
Full benefits for a disabled veteran. And then, thankfully now...
Climb the ranks of disability.
Thankfully now, PTSD is included in that because our minds are not built to handle a lot of the shit that we have to see, in our own lifetimes, let alone in wartime. In one of my dad's tours in Pakistan, he watched a terrorist hijack he was a part of a situation where a terrorist hijacked a bus full of kids and detonated a bomb using that busload of children as the carrier for that bomb. That is not something that our minds are built to handle.
No, it's not.
The loss of a child, whether it's your own or anybody's child, is hard for people to deal with. But when you watch a busload of children be fucking incinerated for no fucking reason, I could go on for hours about my issues with the Muslim religion and how our society accepts what it is. I'll touch on it a little bit real quick, but
I'm gonna keep going.
I'm just gonna,
Afghanistan.
fuck it, I'll do it.
Afghanistan specifically. People do not realize why we're in Afghanistan. They think we're in Afghanistan to fight the war on terror and to secure oil for our nation. That is not even remotely correct. The oil part is partly correct. We are in Afghanistan to control the heroin trade. Afghanistan is the #1 producer of opium in the world. They eclipse all of Asia. Their tiny fucking country eclipses all of Asia tenfold. They do nothing but fucking farm poppies, okay? And play with sand, and fuck goats and little boys, and stone women in the streets. That's what you do in Afghanistan. So as
Sounds like a party.
That's
as
a
an
fucked up
Afghani
ass party,
male,
man.
Okay, I reach adulthood. What is the first thing that I should do once I reach adulthood? Well, I should get a wife. Okay, I got a wife. What's the next thing I do? I buy an AK-47. Well, I need bullets for my AK-47. Shit, all my money's gone. I'll have children. The children can make money for me so I don't have to work, so I can buy bullets and do more shit. So that happens.
How do I get on this?
Same.
Move to Afghanistan.
Oh, okay.
You also have to spray tan a lot.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
grow a
I'm
beard.
real pale. I can grow a beard, though.
But okay, so
He doesn't usually keep it, and I yell at him. a
and
lot.
I don't know the exact statistics. I don't take this as 100% concrete, but
Not gospel.
not gospel. Thank you. But the majority of the population in Afghanistan are uneducated. They don't have the ability to read or write. So if I'm an Afghani man who has secured wives, because they can have multiple wives, I have secured multiple children. The children are now working for me so I can have an income. Excuse me. I have an income now. The people at the madrasas, the holy men, say, well, you can't feed all of your children. They're starving to death. My first instinct is, well, I'll have more children. Not, I need to work to feed my children. It's, I will have more children because I have more wives. So then the holy man at the madrasa says, send your boys to the madrasa. We will teach them the Quran because you cannot read the Quran. I can read the Quran. I can teach them the holy path. I can point them in the right direction. Okay, cool. Here's my boys. Thank you for the quotes. Here's my boys. So I send my boys to the madrasas. They become martyrs for the religion that is built upon the idea of death and fucking goats and little boys.
And stoning women.
Thank you.
Stoning women.
Yeah, you can't forget that.
And growing opium.
And growing opium. So
I don't know if that's actually in the Quran, but it sounds like it might be.
It's one of the
it should be.
pillars.
I'm sure it is.
So as the United States and the European Union, we have now secured control of the number one opium producing nation in the world. We now also have a good producing. We now have.
It's accurate.
We now have a good oil reserve in Afghanistan. We now also have access to the precious metals and minerals, which is a small amount in comparison to a lot of other parts of the Middle East, but they do have a good. I don't even know what word I'm going to use, but they have precious metals and
Resources.
Thank you. In Afghanistan, it's small in comparison to the rest of the Middle East, but they do have it. Mm-hmm. So now we have control of the opium. Well, what's the number one consumer of heroin in the world? The United States. What's number two? The Europe. Boom, we got it. We can continue to feed this opioid crisis in both nation and group of nations. Okay, boom, done. What's the next thing? Where are all the pharmaceutical companies in the world? The United States and Europe. Boom. We've taken control of that. So now we can continue to keep the price high because we don't have to farm opium in the United States or Europe because we've got Afghanistan to do it for us. They don't fucking cost anything. We just took it from them and we tell them what to do. And they do it on their own anyway. Boom. Taken care of. People don't realize that. People think we're there to fucking secure the oil and fight terrorism. And that is wrong. It is 100% wrong. So
95% wrong.
Okay, I'll go with 95. Because we are fighting terrorists. That's not wrong. We are fighting terrorists.
Yeah, it's just not so that they stop being terrorists.
Correct.
It's just because they live in an area that we want their shit.
Correct.
I want a tangent real quick.
Hold on. People also
Tangent off the tangent.
People also don't realize that in the 80s, there's people today that don't realize that Russia invaded Afghanistan in 1980. Or in the 80s, not 1980.
We supplied them with rocket launchers.
Well, not just rocket launchers.
And shit.
But
mainly rocket launchers.
We supplied the Mujahideen with the means to push out the Russians.
Yeah.
Because we did not want Afghanistan to become a satellite state of the Soviet Union.
Of course.
Why did we fight the Korean War? Because we did not want that to become communist Korea. Why were we in Vietnam? We did not want Vietnam to become communist Vietnam. So we were there to stop the spread of communism. We no longer have to fight the spread of communism because it has taken care of itself. What do we have to do now? Well, we forget, and most people don't know, that the Russians fucking introduced man-made radionuclei into all of the water sources in Afghanistan. The Russians are a big proponent of, or big proprietors of the scorched earth policy. We can't have it. Fuck all of you guys. No one's going to have it.
It's good policy.
So they literally made the water undrinkable for the rest of time. And people are still surviving there. Stop fucking with the sand people.
I hate sand.
God damn it.
Luke knew not to fuck with the sand
Anakin.
people. Luke and Anakin.
Well, yeah, but
Anakin
fucked with him.
He
Luke
said, fuck
knew not
these
to
things.
fuck with them.
I'm fucking these things in the ass, and I'm going to kill them after.
Yes. And during.
I hate sand.
just not around sand.
Yes.
I remember
So-
there's that meme where like it's Luke and Vader talking. He's there. I can't remember what the most of the content said, but Luke's like, I'm gonna bury you in the sand, and he goes, I hate sand.
So
Anyway.
Wow.
I didn't interrupt your. I didn't mean to interrupt your tangent during my tangent, but almost every episode, I'll say the last 10 episodes, when I go on a rant about something, I say, educate yourself. It is not the duty of anyone else on this earth to educate you. It is your responsibility as a human being to educate yourself.
Precisely.
And don't take his word for it, or
Correct.
memes, or necessarily your.
You know, if you go out and do your research and I'm wrong on something, call me out on it. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
Don't be afraid
I
to-
hate to quote a meme right after we just said.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you know, the change my mind meme is perfect.
Honestly.
If you don't agree with what I'm saying and there is
Challenge it.
factual evidence,
Challenge.
He's literally sitting in the quad behind a fucking folding table right now.
yes,
Says change my mind.
change my mind.
Don't be afraid to challenge something that could be wrong.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with
Well,
it.
and you could be wrong. You
Yeah.
could be wrong in challenging something. You might gain
But
a new
you'll
perspective.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
because of your challenge.
intelligent arguing.
yes.
There's nothing wrong
So-
with it.
One of my questions to what you're saying is like, where does a lot of your information come from?
I have a lot of ties high up in the military.
Okay. All right, I was curious because like a lot of times, not necessarily in your case, but like people will have internet arguments or whatever,
Correct.
and no one has any basis in fact.
Right.
Like neither side,
Yeah.
they're both just screaming at each other and using epithets and fucking.
you.
Yeah, and
That's my
like
favorite.
nobody has
My
any
favorite.
idea what the fuck they're talking about, and you just
Right.
walk in and you're like, you're both fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. But then you're doing the same thing, you know. If you have no, you know, if nobody has any sources, reputable sources, and they start saying shit, especially kind of like dissident kind of things like what you're saying, that's not to the accepted story.
Correct. Well, they're just perpetuating the cycle at that
Right,
point.
yeah. Exactly.
So what was your tangent before I
Honestly,
fucking went deeper into it?
Completely different tangent. I just wanted to say how awesome my girlfriend is because she like literally went into the chat knowing that I wouldn't be paying attention to my phone and asked me if I wanted another beer.
Yes, it's
Fantastic.
pretty awesome.
She's great. She brought me a beer too.
Yeah.
So what the fuck were we talking about before we started talking about Afghanistan
Oh shit!
or veterans? We'll like walk ourselves back here.
We talked about
I
music.
talked about Bill Clinton fucking underage kids.
Yep.
that was a
Donald
thing.
Trump not being what we need to focus on.
Yep. Oh, something about humans being a plague, and we needed to
okay.
move past the Earth.
I said that the Earth is a prison. We need, as a species,
There it is.
Yep.
to escape Earth's atmosphere
Right.
permanently.
Yeah.
You know?
What brought that up? I don't remember where we got into that from.
It's been a long.
The Battle
rant.
Royal, maybe? I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
we were talking about
Thunderdome.
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 Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Walked ourselves back.
You're steering this ship, pal, and I appreciate it. But
In my notes.
I'm
Going to notes.
talking about space right now, you fuck.
Okay. Okay. go for
So,
it.
you know, I'm a big proprietor of fucking, or a big supporter of population control. We, you know, and no reason am I saying
Not Holocaust style.
I
Yes.
believe if you're a proprietor of population control, you're probably just called a serial murderer.
yes.
But, you know, whatever.
I'm a supporter of,
Okay.
of population
I mean,
control.
this is like, you probably don't want to say that just like out
I
on
support
Facebook.
that
I just
shit.
incriminated myself.
Oh,
God
fuck.
damn it. But you know, in no way, shape, or form am I
Lafayette Strangler.
saying have a child and then put it in a basket and send it down the Nile like the Egyptians did. I'm not saying anything remotely close
Make
to
an
that.
office joke?
What I
my God.
am saying is we are, and it's not even resource based. We are literally running out of space to put people. We have a finite amount of atmosphere, and we are getting rid of that because we love to breed.
A big part of that, actually, though, is it's like we take up too much room, especially in the U.S. Mm-hmm. I know it's something that they deal with in Japan, where they have an extremely limited space.
Correct.
They've learned to optimize that space, and you know, we have shit like McMansions, where it's $100,000 home that's 5,000 square feet for a family of four, when most other societies would have, you know, 20 people in there.
Correct.
And they also have like 2 acres that
you
they
said
are growing
Japan-
fucking grass that has no fucking use to anyone.
Yes.
Yeah, you said Japan likes to maximize, and we're just like, fuck that.
Yeah. No, we like to spread the fuck out, you know.
Right.
I need more space.
That's well, I mean, like,
We're America. We do things
I'm
big.
okay with having space, but like, it's kind of unnecessary at that point. But here's the thing about the U.S. is that we don't use it. There's so much like room in between everything. I mean, even like our cities are sprawling. I mean, Lafayette has grown quite a bit in the last 10 years since I've lived down here, and not getting denser. It's just moving out. And I think that's a big issue as far as what you're saying, like space. In the U.S. at least, we have increased our population quite a bit, but we're just kind of like spreading the cities out, and everybody's kind of focusing on the cities when there's, all this just grassland where it might be protected because it's some kind of like state park or whatever. And that might be necessary to preserve for some reason or another, but there's a lot of unused space. Like, you don't necessarily need your fucking backyard.
Correct.
There could be another house there, or this could be a high rise.
I've lived in Europe for a lot of time, and in Europe, Germany specifically, when a man and a woman get married, the house is vertical.
It's like a brownstone almost.
The married couple lives on the first floor. The mother-in-law's family lives on the second floor. The father-in-law's family lives on the third floor. All three families are now condensed into one home, but there is more than enough room for all three families to live and not step on each other's dicks.
Yeah.
But it's very efficient. But in being very efficient, it's not inconvenient.
Now, how would that work here in America?
It would not work here in America.
Where we have families that are divorced, like parents that are divorced.
Well, they have families that are divorced there too.
But
it's not any different.
Well,
they just go their separate ways.
Okay.
The thing with America versus other countries is like an attitude difference.
Yes.
There is a huge difference in like people's feelings about personal space and about sharing things with your family that is totally different than other countries. Like, for example, a lot of people here have a thing against Mexicans, and they will constantly say, oh, some Mexicans moved down the street. They're going to fill that house up with their whole fucking extended family.
I'm from Delphi. I've heard that all my
exactly.
life.
Like I live in Frankfurt. There's hundreds of houses where there's the patriarch and matriarch that moved here from fucking Mexico, and their kids, and maybe like their brother and his kids, and they all live in the same house. That isn't fucking hurting anybody.
No, it's
not.
And
in fact, it is efficient.
Yes.
And they all provide for each other. It's actually like a closer knit family unit. And people are just like, nah, I couldn't fucking live within a mile of my parents, let alone in the same fucking house. Well, I mean, that's just a difference of
that's our culture.
Yeah, how our culture sees family as like
lives across the road.
Yeah, and like I'm guilty of this too. Like I think it's weird, but like I've always, ever since I moved out of my parents' house, I've always been an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours at least away, and I've gotten used to it, and it's just that's how America is, and it not necessarily is a good thing,
right?
Because it's less efficient, and you have less ties to your own family. Some people, like, their family are strangers, which I'm guilty of that. Like, my extended family past my first cousins, I don't know who the fuck they are. I couldn't name them if I ran into them on the street. But other cultures, it's like, they know everyone, up to their grandparents' cousins and second cousins and stuff that, here you wouldn't even know that they exist.
Right.
It's the space thing is a difference of culture here versus other countries, I think.
I would 100% agree with that. I've lived in Germany and Spain, spent a lot of time throughout Europe, and it's and I hate to say it that way, but it's an entirely different world, because everything, I have a wife and I have a child, and I have this large group of friends that I do my best to keep in contact with, and I consider my friends my family. It's different, If my mom called me today and said, "Hey, I need to move in." I probably would not want that to happen, but if I had grown up in that different culture and that different family setting, it would almost not be a choice. It would be, "Hey, I'm moving in." Bam, done. You know. And I've always said, and I've always been taught growing up, that family comes first. And that kind of bleeds over into some of the ways that I challenge authority, and specifically work. You know, if you have a family illness or a family emergency or whatever, you should not be penalized for not being at work, because family is more important than work.
Yes.
You know, your time spent with family is more important than your time spent at work. And a lot of times, and you
That's
know,
not how capitalism works, though.
that's not how capitalism works.
Well, it's not how they want capitalism to work.
Thank you. I do not like isms. Isms are a bad thing. Capitalism, communism, socialism, they're all bad things. We don't need any of that shit.
I got to disagree with you there.
What about Thunderdomeism?
The
It's not an
isms,
ism.
the isms,
It can be.
the isms are not the problem. It's the people. Any ideal, any structure would work if people were not involved. People are inherently greedy and evil.
Correct.
And self-centered, and they make all utopian ideals not work.
Okay.
And that is why communism has always failed. That's why capitalism is failing us now. Mm-hmm. That's why democracy fails. It's why every structure of society has failed in some form, because of the people that are in charge and the people who have found the loopholes and are taking advantage of it, not because of the structure itself.
So what about something that we haven't tried? Anarchy. I
I
ask you, what is the true definition of anarchy?
The true definition of anarchy, I couldn't just spout that off the top of my head.
Without master.
Yeah, but
That is the true definition of anarchy.
the problem with that is that if you have any kind of empathy, then you're going to end up at the bottom. Which, you know, because you're gonna, in some way, you're going to be taken advantage of, either by the people you have empathy for, or the people that use that empathy against you through the people that you have the empathy for.
I like the way that you put that.
So no structure, even the absence of structure, will entirely work because of the human condition.
I really like the way that
Yeah.
you put that.
I like talking to you.
I
I mean, I like listening to you. actually.
I push
Because I
for
haven't done much
anarchy a lot,
talking.
and I
Yeah.
have never had someone push back, even slightly, with that perspective. It's always, well, anarchy is chaos and everybody just killing each other. No, that's not anarchy.
No, that's-
the true definition of anarchy is without master. But I totally agree with what you're saying. The strong, and it kind of goes into an ism right after I said I
Right.
don't like isms. Darwinism, the strong will survive.
Yeah.
Only the strong survive.
Well, only the
Kinda
strong
doing
and
that a lot
heartless.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a little more than just mechanical. We have souls.
Yeah.
Souls.
Yeah.
No,
So,
we
but
have emotions.
but you have people that are inherently broken and like psychopaths and sociopaths.
Yeah.
And those people, if they had any modicum of power, would destroy everyone else for their own benefit.
God, I love your verbiage. I am so hard right now. My dick's about to explode.
Oh shit.
I actually have a friend, my friend Billy, his girlfriend is like completely insane. But she is
Like most women.
but no, like in the way that
I
like,
had to throw that in there.
yeah, bitches be crazy, but she's crazy and like, if she wasn't a tiny girl, if she was born in a man's body, she would have terrorized a town or a neighborhood if she got into it when she was a child, and she would be in a mental institution or in jail.
I don't know her that well, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, she like she holds back because she knows that she wouldn't get anywhere doing it.
So she's intelligent enough to have
Oh, she's smart as
yeah,
fuck.
self-control.
No, she is.
She's smart as fuck. But if she had the
Those are the
power
dangerous ones.
to get away with something, she would. But she doesn't have any power. And that's a good thing. But there are people that are like that are strong or intelligent, enough to do something with it. And if there was no recourse for people that were weaker, then they would rule them, and they would be their slaves in whatever way that person wanted.
Right.
And if you're talking about the greater good, then that would not be the greater good.
Right. That's the bad thing when anyone spouts utopiistic ideals. The problem is exactly what you said, the human condition. With utopia, everything. Most people think everything's sunshine and rainbows.
Rainbeers.
I've drank quite a bit of beer tonight, but and like always on a podcast, I can't speak.
Awful.
But
honestly, I agree. I'm just trying to finish it.
trade me. I'll finish it. You
I
take
don't
that
want.
one.
I don't want to drink that.
All right.
now. I'm not-
With
my stomach would
utopiistic
yell at me.
ideals, the issue is not the idea of the utopia. It's always the human condition. And I like that you bring that up because there is no reason that we as a society can't band together and work together to push towards a common goal of prosperity. The issue is there's the human condition thrown in there. We're not robots. We're not
programmed.
Even
to an
though
extent.
we're animals, we're not a herd of animals.
Right.
We don't have a hive mind. We don't have a group mentality. It's all about me.
Most people can be herded
We do
to an
have a
extent.
mentality.
We have a small amount of group mentality as far as because we live in a society. We do,
Right.
and it works for the most part. There are
We are
definitely
social
people.
creatures.
Yeah, well, there are definitely people that are left behind, and there are definitely people that have found the way to excel in it. And then there are people like us who are just trying to find our way and haven't got there yet. But we're moving through with the flow for the most part. We might do things here or there that are against the flow, but for the most part, we all have jobs. We all pay our bills for the most part.
Right.
We're following the
Ebb and
prescribed flow of the society that we're a part of. But shit, I forgot where I was going with that. Son of a bitch. Fuck.
Well,
I was on a roll.
What I was
fucked
getting
up.
what I was getting at is if we could
And then,
And then
and then if we could just detach a little bit from our greed that you touched on, we would prosper beyond measures. There's no reason that at this point right now we should not be thoroughly exploring space.
okay, so
There's
that brings
no
me
reason.
that brings me to what I was going to get at. In popular media, we often have in sci-fi stuff, we have this semi-utopian society that has conquered at least our local space. Like Mass Effect, Star Trek, Star Wars a little bit. They don't really go into that much, and there's a lot more aliens than some of the other ones. But if you look at how the governments in those actually work, there is no way that they would have become as advanced as they are because of the amount of bureaucracy that is required to keep all of them in check from destroying each other. Like if you look at like the government and like Mass Effect, and they're we can't get anything.
Are you talking about the council?
Yeah, like we can't get anything done.
Big
we
Mass
can't. We
Effect
can't.
fan.
Yeah, we can't. Like, I didn't actually play it. I watched my friend Billy play like the first two, maybe the first three. I don't remember. But anyway, like they couldn't come to a decision to stop the big bad in both of the first two, I believe.
The Reapers.
And Shepard just went off and did it. Went against what he was told to do it. And the same thing in Star Trek. Like, it's always like, non-interference, and the captain is always, no, we gotta fucking stop this.
Right.
And it kind of goes to, the way that our society is that we, without going commando, you can't get anything done.
Correct.
And like you've talked about how the military is doing things that are not necessarily for the reasons that they say they're doing. They've given us, as a society, a reason that we can accept,
Stand behind
to send people to do things that might be for the government's betterment, but not necessarily ours, or at least not ours in a way that we can see.
Right.
So they're using like that kind of commando gung-ho attitude to placate us into doing things that they think are necessary. And it's never going to, as a society, get advanced enough to do what we were talking about having need to do, is to expand to a galactic society.
The only reason I would disagree, I totally agree with everything that you said. The only reason that I would disagree with what you said is, in any major science fiction media, books, movies, television, anything, there's always especially when there's a bureaucratic society or societies, there's always a common enemy that brings them together.
Right.
So they could push towards that common goal
So what
of
you're saying
overcoming
is
that enemy.
We need an Ozymandias.
Yes, but in a way we've already got that. Our time on this earth is limited. We have finite resources, we have finite atmosphere, we have finite space. We've both talked about that.
Yeah.
Right there is our common enemy. We are our own enemies. Let's push out.
Right. But I feel like that's too abstract of an enemy. Just like I brought up Ozymandias, just like in The Watchmen, the threat of nuclear or self-assured, mutually assured nuclear destruction was not enough of a common threat to stop that threat. So there had to be an exterior threat.
Right.
Where our growth and our consumption of resources is not an exterior threat. That's us. We're already doing it. And we all know how hard it is for people to kick addictions. How hard is it for you to kick, for a society to kick an addiction? Way harder. You can't put an entire country or people in rehab.
Right.
You can't strap us all down to beds and fucking make us detox,
Right.
There has to be.
You're gonna detox there, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, exactly. There has to be a fucking exterior threat, which is what in The Watchmen. That's what happened. There was
Manhattan.
Well, in the movie it was Manhattan.
Yeah.
In the comic it was manufactured alien.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everything happened the same way.
Just
only
different.
Instead of Dr. Manhattan helping him build a thing that basically let him harness his power for those strikes, he kidnapped a bunch of people to create an alien, like to genetically create an alien that let out like a psionic burst that killed all the people in the cities.
I like the movie's version better.
It was actually a lot better. I mean, it's obviously done way better.
We are best
in the
friends.
comic, but
You brought up The Watchmen on a podcast. We are best fucking friends now.
Oh, look who finally joins.
Thanks for finally joining, Jennifer. God damn it.
Don't worry, we already talked about you.
Yeah, Alaska is actually connected to Canada.
I don't disagree with anything that you're saying at all. And I'm not going to argue any of the points because you fucking nailed it. man, let me ask you this: do you believe personally, for whatever reason, that there are or are not aliens?
I have no evidence in the contrary, and I have seen UFOs.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I got. Because, like, I mean, I could watch Ancient Aliens and believe everything they say. I actually have arguments about this with Cherokee every day at work.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
But I have no knowledge of aliens, but, like, I don't think our universe could be as expansive as it is without the possibility of them existing.
Okay. So are you under the impression that they have somewhere or some way or some time had a hand in our evolution?
It could be or it could not be. I don't know. Like, I don't have extensive knowledge of that. I mean, there are some things where you would think that, well, that's not really something that we could have done, but it happened.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think that our government has knowledge of aliens? And
if it happened, they probably have knowledge of it.
And that, in the 40s, the massive technological advancements that the German military and German scientists brought to the United States were spurred on by
it could have been
extraterrestrial contact, and that's why in the last 30 years we have technologically advanced as far as we have.
I do think it's strange that our advancements have come at such a rapid pace, but there are other instances in our history where one advancement led to very quick other advancements. So, like, microchip technology leading to smartphones and Xboxes and everything else.
Right.
Isn't a huge leap. It is quite a bit of a leap, and it has changed everything. But I think the Industrial Revolution was also a huge leap.
Correct.
I think the printing press was also a huge leap, but those come from one invention, So I think it is possible that some of our leaps could have been influenced by an outside presence, but I don't see hard evidence of it. I've never been shown hard evidence of it. And that's something that I always say to Cherokee is, like, that I don't discount a lot of the things that he talks about. They're more like kind of foil hatty kind of things, but like,
yeah, if he was here, this would be totally different.
No, he would be like loving on you for talking about a lot of the things you've talked about. But he would be taking it to the nth degree. But I don't think those things are necessarily like false, but no evidence has been presented to me.
You don't have evidence either way to prove or disprove.
Prove or disprove that those things have happened.
What do you think?
Yeah, get in some conversation, Ryan.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't want just us two to talk the entire
This has been our show.
Yes,
Yeah,
it has.
I mean,
well, okay, let me ask you this. Do you believe or disbelieve in aliens? It could be simple yes or no.
I don't know.
I appreciate that answer.
There's nothing that's been shown to me that's proved yes or no. I haven't seen. I've seen things fly, and that could be fucking anything.
Right.
So to me, I don't know.
Blaine?
So
He's been probed.
I take it from the same perspective of I take aliens as the same perspective as I take as God.
My ass is asleep. I have to
See,
stand
that's
up.
where I almost took it, and I was trying not to get into religion.
Oh, I don't.
It's okay.
No,
It's
you can
okay.
do
We
whatever
talk
you.
about religion on this
You
podcast.
can do whatever you want on this show.
Well, you're not wearing your Enemy of God shirt. That's too bad.
I am not.
No.
Today.
I believe in Ragnarok. So
I do have my 666.
Fucking A.
So I believe that this universe is way too big for there not to be a life of some sort in somewhere out there, whether it be microbial, whether it be like animal, plant,
or not carbon based. No, it
doesn't have to be carbon based. No,
that's a thing. That's a thing that I always think about when we consider the unfathomable size of the universe and the crazy possibilities that are out there. That there could be things that we would consider extraterrestrial on our planet that we can't perceive because they exist in a way that is unperceptible to us. There are wavelengths of light that we can't perceive.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so there could literally be solid objects in the air or standing in the corner of this fucking room that we don't know are there because we can't see it.
Piss off, ghost.
Piss off, ghost.
Well,
exactly.
And one of the things that I appreciate, because Blaine and I have had this conversation quite a few times. One of the things that I appreciate that he always brings up is when you look through, say, if you pulled something up at Google right now and you looked at an image of a star that was taken yesterday.
But that just because it was taken yesterday,
that is in the past.
That is not the star yesterday.
Correct.
That light takes time to get here.
When you think about that and you think about our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, it is a small fragment of everything else.
Not even a fragment.
Dick, I need you to Google something right now. What's the next closest star to Earth other than the sun?
Alpha Centauri.
Do you know how far it is?
No.
Google it.
Google it.
But so we have this fragment of
technically,
space.
Yes, you could have smartphones.
You know,
he's the host.
We have the Milky Way galaxy. Everything that we're looking at outside of the Milky Way galaxy is in the past.
Oh yeah, way in the past.
Way in the past.
Like stuff in the Milky Way is still like
wow. So
forever
I type
away.
in closest, and suggestions are closest gas station, closest Walmart, closest Starbucks. Cool.
It was close with Starbucks.
Take the Starbucks and then just delete the bugs. But so everything that we're looking at outside of our galaxy is in the past. You know, on the edge of our galaxy, we're already approaching. This is already in the past. You know, we are closely approaching that, and with the Hubble telescope and all the advancements that we've had over the last 40 years. Did you say Hubble?
Hubble.
Okay.
I
love the Hubble
how do you
telescope.
say Hubble telescope?
Hubble.
The closest star to Earth, Alpha Centauri A. The two main stars are Alpha Centauri A and Alpha Centauri B, which form a binary pair. They are an average of 4.3 light years from Earth.
Light years.
What type of stars are they?
Does not say.
So those are the closest stars in our own galaxy that are 4 light years.
4.3 light years away.
4.3 light
that's traveling
years
at the speed of light.
Takes 4.3 years to get there. So
at the speed of light.
The closest two stars to us, other than the sun, if you look at them, it is literally almost 5 years ago.
That's assuming we don't have a binary star.
Ooh, I like that he brought that up because there's theories that
There's the Nemesis theory.
Because we don't necessarily know because of our limited history that there isn't something moving that is just so far out that it hasn't come through our solar system or what we perceive as our solar system.
Correct. The solar system.
So it goes on to say the third star, which is closer than those two. I guess I should have finished reading that.
What the fuck?
The third star is Proxima Centauri. It is about 4.22 light years from Earth and is the closest star other than the sun.
That is way closer.
Yeah. So
it's like 2 months closer.
I mean, I was right and I was wrong because it was in the Centauri system.
So
star system.
There are stars that we have seen, you know, with fucking technology that no longer exist.
Yeah.
And all of these stars, and you know, we NASA specifically has pointed out planets that are potentially habitable
Goldilocks planets. Yes.
Thank you. By something, you know, not necessarily us, not necessarily something else, but something. Why are we the only? How can you be so close-minded?
How can you assume?
Thank you.
There's no way.
How
This
can you
universe
be so
doesn't have
close-minded
life.
to assume that we are the only thing in existence?
Well, so one of the reasons for that and for also religion is people's need for to understand things.
Yes.
And their terror at not understanding.
Yes, fear is the enemy.
Because it's way easier to assume that some all-powerful being created everything and put life on only this planet so that you can't be scared of things on some planet that you can't see.
Correct.
That is forever away, and they might be able to come here and probe us.
I think. So I'm agnostic. I'm not atheist. I believe that this universe.
Oh yeah,
is
if fucking God came down and showed himself to me, then I would believe in him.
for sure.
You not just believe in him, more than likely you would worship him.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back to the human condition. We worship the strong and the powerful.
Yeah.
You know, we elevate through status those who are strong. If I don't even want to say omnipotent, but if some being were to appear before me that has abilities that I don't have.
Say if Superman came down, if
Thank you.
Superman fucking came down in your lawn, we would all be like, holy fuck.
That guy's got a huge dick.
That's
False god.
fucking amazing.
Captain Swinging Dicks over here.
Yeah.
Damn it!
We beseech you to not fucking kill us.
Right.
Do you need a golden calf?
We are fucking friends. I cannot say that enough. God, we need to fucking hang out.
He doesn't do anything.
No,
so
I'm agnostic,
good
which
luck with that.
ag without knowledge. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am without knowledge of what is out there, and I accept that. I accept the fact that there could be aliens. There could be intelligent, further advanced
furry people out there.
Further advanced civilization. I posted that article about there being the different stages of civilization. Like there's a type 1, which we aren't even 2 yet. We're not even a type 1. Type 1 is considered they have harnessed all of the energy of their planet and can use it at their will.
What is that from?
The laws. It's some the guy who it's from the 60s actually. He made these tiers of civilization.
Yeah, I know they use it in some science fiction stuff. I just didn't know if it was actually from a science fiction
I believe
work.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the name either. I posted it earlier this week. It was a really cool article, and we're not even a type 1. We're not even a type 1
No,
civilization.
we don't have a Dyson sphere. We don't.
No, type 2 is Dyson
Okay,
sphere.
we don't
where
control
we harness
our,
the nearby star.
Yeah, we don't harness our thermal capabilities of the Earth or the movement of the winds or the ocean
chat
or
feed
anything like
guide.
that. So
Devin asked us a question and we never answered it, and then nobody said anything besides Jennifer flipping us off.
If you real quick before we dive deeper into space, Devin asks if you guys could have one superpower, what would it be? Before I answer this question, do you guys consider immortality a superpower?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, I would.
Well,
have-
I mean, like it usually comes from something else, like Wolverine's immortality or near immortality. It comes from the healing factor. Hulk, same thing. They're impervious characters that don't age because they're basically the same thing, only they can't be hurt in the fucking first place.
right.
Like Superman. So, yeah, I would consider that a superpower.
Okay, mine would either be immortality or time travel.
Time travel is interesting because, I mean, Barry Allen, you fucked with the timeline, bro.
But what if you don't? What if you don't fuck with anything? What if you just
experience.
experience?
Transparent time travel.
What if I want to go 50,000 years into the future and see where the fuck the Earth is at?
You just use it for knowledge
Yes,
of your own learning, not to manipulate.
correct.
Fuck that. I'd go fuck Cleopatra. Come on now.
She killed all the people she fucked, though.
Shane,
Apparently, it was worth it.
Shane, who's to say you didn't fuck Cleopatra?
Yeah, we're gonna get fucking out of
So
the
that
bounds
means-
here.
Yeah, in like 10 years after we create time travel.
I would create time travel just to go back in time and create science earlier, so we could have time travel earlier.
You just fucked everything up.
I did.
God damn it!
You fucked everything up.
I would.
That's a paradox.
I would time travel with a spoon and be like, "Look, this is a spoon."
What the fuck is
We haven't even made a wheel yet, motherfucker.
I love the grandfather paradox, where you go back in time, kill your grandfather, but if you kill your grandfather, you don't exist. So, therefore, you cannot go back in time to go kill your grandfather. Oh shit, it's cool. We are hitting some like heavy thinking. subjects.
Have you
we
read
haven't
the,
even gotten to any of the stuff we were
Have
actually
you read
gonna talk about.
the Where'd All You Zombies Come From?
No.
Or seen the Ethan Hawke movie? I can't remember the name of it. It's based on that story.
Is it the one where he time travels and he's fucking himself throughout all the movie?
Yes.
Nate Vanderwall actually told me about that movie.
Very rarely do we talk about anyone other than Pod Daddy Nate, who has not blessed us.
Yeah,
with his
where
presence.
the fuck you been at, Pod Daddy Nate?
Yeah,
God damn it.
God damn.
Some bitch.
It's
But
weird.
yeah, a coworker that Blaine and I have actually told me about that movie, and I was like, "What?"
It's actually an old sci-fi
I definitely
story.
want to
He
hear.
went through the fucking whole plot of it, and I was like,
And-
God, I need
dude.
to see this.
Anytime Nate Vanderwall gives you a plot synopsis,
He
it
actually
is-
did a really good
It is
job.
grand
He did a really
because
good
of the
job.
way he talks. Yeah, bro. Like there's this guy and he fucks himself throughout.
Yeah, basically like
Like Game of Thrones for him is like, oh yeah, when the midget fucked the one person and then the dragon bitch. Yeah, no, he's
Fantastic.
He's burnt out as fuck.
He is 100% a fucking burnout.
But he's incredibly intelligent, but he is burnt out.
I wouldn't
as
say he's
fuck.
incredibly intelligent. I would just say he's intelligent.
He's incredibly intelligent.
He thought that
I'm
he could
telling
read
you.
minds, Blaine.
Oh no, that was a joke we played on him.
He legitimately believed that he could read minds.
I don't think I've ever told you that story, so it amazes.
Calvin has told me that story.
Oh, dude, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. We convinced him that he could read minds. We're like, I'm thinking of a number. What am I thinking of? He'd be like, 23. Oh my god, dude, you have to be psychic. Yeah, you know.
You're going a little bit Sly Stallone with it.
Dude, it was.
he's pretty lazy.
God damn it!
Hey, bro.
He says bro after every word.
Yeah, well,
Hey, bro.
He started saying bro after every word to piss somebody off, and then it just stuck with him.
Nice.
He doesn't stop.
So anyway, proceed with your chlorophyll. You were rearing up to say something. Then we started talking about bro.
Oh, I was just talking about that story as far as time travel goes. It's an old story where this guy or this person is born as a hermaphrodite, and they fix it so that it's a man. Like they basically seal up his vagina and make so that he only has a penis. And he goes through the first part of his life thinking that he's only a man. And then something happens. He's in an accident, I think. Or no, it's the other way around. Starts as a woman, goes through
Traumatic
life,
accident.
goes through accident after shit, is that right? I don't remember how it goes. Anyway,
I think that's the way it goes.
becomes a man, goes back in time and meets himself as a woman and doesn't recognize himself, impregnates himself, and becomes like his own mother, father, grandfather, everything. He's like, it becomes a circle. Like, so somehow he exists outside of time. As his own paradox.
Interesting.
And the reason it's called Where'd All You Zombies Come From is because at the end he's like an old man and is like dying and is like hallucinating that there's people that are dead or from the past or whatever around him, And that's what he says at the it's the last line of the short story. So that's the title.
Interesting.
It's
I
very
really
weird.
dug the movie. Ethan Hawke did a pretty good job, I thought.
I thought it was a good movie.
I wish I knew what this movie was.
Just look him up, and it's like it's got a weird title.
All right, I'll look for the weird title.
Yep.
I'll look it up. Hold on.
Speaking of movies, but we watched the trailer for a movie before.
Oh
in
Jesus!
the
we were
pre-show.
gonna talk
Yeah,
about that
right
at the
off
start
the
of
bat,
the
and then,
start of
you
the
know-
show, and then it was like Dick was like, "I'm gonna start talking and not introduce the people that are also talking because I'm a terrible host."
Way to remind me.
So
Piece of shit.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say what trailer we watched. It was Venom.
Yes.
Before we dive into Venom, who in this room is excited to see the Venom movie?
Oh well,
Show of
yeah,
hands.
obviously.
Okay.
I am.
Who in this room was not excited to see the Venom movie prior to this trailer?
I'm always down.
Okay, so I was kind of half and half. I really dig Tom Hardy.
Yes.
He's in my man crush list. People shit on him for his portrayal as Bane. I loved his version
I
of
enjoyed
Bane.
it.
I didn't think that was bad.
I'm not a Luchador Bane fan. I appreciate what he brought to
Okay.
the character.
Hold on.
You're talking to some comic guys.
My problem with the portrayal of Bane in every iteration that has been live action has been that he has been a stooge. Mm-hmm. Because he was never a stooge until much later, when in third or fourth major appearance. Mm-hmm. His first appearance, when he broke Bruce's back, that whole storyline was orchestrated by him. Mm-hmm. He was a criminal mastermind that also just happened to be on crazy ass steroids.
Right.
Okay. He let everyone out of fucking Arkham and wore Bruce down because he knew who he was. He knew who he was.
Yep.
I appreciate that you know this.
And he wore him down with all of his classic villains over the course of a month, and then came for him because he knew that he could take him at that point, because he was completely without sleep for weeks and just beaten down by everybody that nearly took him the first time that he fought him. And he came at him at his weakest point because he wanted to take Gotham. And he was not somebody's bitch like in fucking Batman Forever or in Dark Knight.
Let me rephrase what I
Dark
said.
Knight Rises.
When I say
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin, whatever.
When I say Luchador Bane, I am specifically pointing out the live action Banes.
Yeah.
We just watched
Obviously, the comics goes a lot deeper into that character.
Batman and Robin had the Poison Ivy.
Yes.
That's
Henchman Bane.
Yes.
that is
Stooge
what
Bane,
that
as
is
you
what
put it.
I am referring to more than.
But
anything.
he was also a stooge in the Nolan verse because
For Talia.
he was like
he was fulfilling Ra's al Ghul's plan.
he was a fake version of what he was in the comics. They portrayed him for the first 2/3 of the movie, something like that,
as the
the
main,
main villain,
mastermind,
as the mastermind, and then you find out that he's a bitch, that he's been following somebody else's plan the whole time. That is not Bane. That is not how he ever was until he'd been.
But he had a reason.
Had the shit kicked out of him.
He had a
couple
reason
times.
to, other than the person's just smarter.
Well,
ish.
And this goes back to my unpopular opinions thing that I've brought up multiple times in this episode and throughout my history on Podcastrophe as co-host. I do not like Batman. I do not like Superman. I ultimately am not a big fan of DC heroes. I'm a big fan of DC villains. The heroes are kind of weak for me. I personally would much rather read a Black Manta story than I would a Aquaman story. I would much
I'll read Eobard Thawne all day.
I want you to read Blackest Night.
Okay.
I'll let you borrow what I have of it. It's just one part, but it's a graphic novel about all of the crazy Green Lantern shit.
Now, I will say Green Lantern is kind of the exception. I really dig Green Lantern, especially when you start to delve into all the different Lantern corps.
Yeah, that's what that whole thing is about.
All the fucking shit going on. Lantern gets really fucking deep.
It's really interesting, and it's like cosmic, which makes it more interesting.
Green
I think
Lantern is the Guardians of the Galaxy of the
sort of, yeah.
DC universe.
Well, I mean,
Well, they're more
Legion
they're
of
more so
Superheroes,
the-
but whatever.
yeah.
I was
don't
going
know
to
that
say
far
Nova
back.
Corps myself, but
Well,
I'm not saying
Green Lantern. Green Lantern is Nova Corps.
not
Legion of
saying
Superheroes
specifically.
is
Guardians.
Okay.
I'm saying the Green Lantern universe, or within the DC universe, is more of the out there shit, like where you get like your Adam Warlock.
No, we're
Star
disagreeing
Wars.
with you. We're saying that the Green Lantern is equivalent. Green Lantern Corps is equivalent to Nova Corps.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
And then you disagree.
yeah.
I don't agree. I don't disagree. I'm just saying
All
what
right,
I'm
we're
saying.
gonna get
Semantics.
lost in a agree
Venom!
disagree paradox.
Semantics.
Venom. We need to get back to Venom.
Okay, hold on.
Hold on, he has. To
I
say
have
something.
one point about his dislike of DC's superheroes, especially the big two of the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
I'm not a big DC fan, but I do like a lot of Batman stuff, mostly because it's street level.
I appreciate what he is as a character. I don't like a lot of the ways that Batman has been portrayed. I will tell you this, and some people might shit on me for it, but I loved Batman Beyond for old Bruce and
I mean it was basically an extension of the original animated series, and the original well, not original, but the animated series from the 90s was probably one of the best iterations of any superhero in any animated version ever, with a close second of being the Spider-Man animated series then the X-Men animated series. But one of the big problems with the big two of the Holy Trinity of DC is that they are portrayed to be completely infallible 99% of the time.
Yes.
And completely unable to be destroyed. They do flip that a few times with both of them, Superman and Batman. But one of the biggest reasons that Batman or Superman in particular started to fail in the 90s and previously in Silver Age and Golden Age was because he couldn't be hurt by anyone. If somebody would come up with some way to do something to him, and all of a sudden he would sprout a new power that just completely nullified whatever they did. And that's continued.
It's the sun. It's the sun. The sun is causing him to do all these things.
Yeah, but it's continued, and like it's gotten gradually less. But that's one of the big reasons that a lot of people that like the grittier shit, like like the street level Marvel superheroes, like Punisher and Daredevil and stuff like that.
Look at Blade,
Heroes for Hire, Blade, all that kind of stuff. They have legit fucking weaknesses that happen that are human. Whereas, like, Superman...
He's a god.
He is basically a god. Like we were saying earlier, Batman has basically made himself into a god where, like, they say that he's an Olympic-level athlete, but you've never seen a fucking Olympic-level athlete
become a vigilante.
Literally push 600 pounds, like 6 feet of dirt on top of a fucking coffin lid out of the ground.
Right.
Yep.
That is literally the explanation that I read in a fucking Batman book about how he did that, was that he was an Olympic level athlete. Like, no, that you can't just bench press 6 feet of fucking dirt on top of a coffin lid. Okay,
Correct.
It doesn't work. It doesn't happen. Not without some kind of metahuman capabilities. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, just physics, leverage.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen unless you have physics breaking super strength.
Yes.
Literally. It just doesn't
You're right.
doesn't work.
You're 100% right.
And that's part of the problem with the two big DC superheroes is that they're unrelatable at this point. And they have been for a long time.
Tyler, apparently unpopular opinions runs in your family because your cousin just comments Batman and Robin from back in the day with Arnold and Mr. Freeze, they're the same person.
Same.
Is my favorite.
Okay. I like that movie because it makes me laugh.
It is super cheesy.
It's super funny. It's hilarious.
It's basically like a redo of '66 Batman.
Yep.
With
What killed the
Arnold.
dinosaurs?
Yeah. The Ice Age.
I
Killed him.
I hate George Clooney as Batman.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
he sucked.
I really
He
dug
hates
George
George Clooney
Clooney
as Batman.
as Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
He hates George Clooney as Batman.
Val Kilmer, not Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer, up until Batfleck, was my favorite Batman.
Oh shit! You're about to make another bro.
Because I thought that Val Kilmer did the best job of being Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
I loved his
Yes.
version
Yep.
or his rendition of
Yep.
Bruce Wayne. You know, he was swanky, he was the playboy.
Yep.
Yep.
But at the same time, he was emotionally distraught and he was damaged.
That's because Val Kilmer is a really good fucking actor.
yes, he is.
And like a lot of people don't fucking recognize
No, they
that.
don't.
And the dude has like went off the deep end because of it.
Yep.
Because his box office draw like went way down for no reason other than people like not liking him for some reason. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
But
Jennifer says Val Kilmer blows.
Fuck off,
exactly,
Jennifer.
fuck you. I don't even know who the fuck you are, but fuck you.
Isn't that the one that?
Yeah, the
Alaska.
the bitch
Alaska.
that doesn't know how
Move
maps
to
work.
your island on Alaska.
Yeah. But yeah, like no, Val Kilmer Batman was great. This guy loves Batfleck.
I'm a big
I've
Batfleck
been
supporter.
Very
I-
big Batman.
I will be very upset
Ever since
if they
the-
push him out of this franchise.
Ever since the original,
He's
like,
pushing himself.
yeah, he is. So
I don't agree with that.
they announced Batfleck, and I was like, oh no.
What you
But
you
that
think
was
about
my-
Geely?
But that was my
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was my thing.
I thought about Daredevil. I thought about Geely. Then I saw the first image, the sad man.
But that was
Yep.
great.
the sad man, the sad fleck, and I was like, oh, he looks awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure,
Think
there were
of-
memes.
think about it, though.
But
It was no
Daredevil was not his fault.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's not.
Director,
It's no different
writer,
than
I
Ryan
get
Reynolds
it.
with Green Lantern.
I
Green
get it.
Lantern was not his
No,
fault.
I
No.
get it. I
Right.
You know,
completely
we
agree.
shit on Green Lantern, but we don't shit on Ryan Reynolds.
But that shit sticks in your mind, and I mean, we're not infallible.
It's
to
stuck.
that-
It's stuck
to
in
that.
everyone's mind for the wrong reasons, and
Yeah.
it wasn't even necessarily writer and director.
We point.
you need to
blame.
watch. You need to rewatch Daredevil.
I like Daredevil.
You need to.
God.
You need to watch the director
Back
cut.
then, I liked it.
You need to watch the director's cut. Like it's still not a good movie. I'm not gonna defend it. It's still not a good movie,
Neither's
but it's
Batman
about
versus Superman.
10,000 times better
It's kind
than
like
it originally
watching,
was.
Suicide
Okay.
Squad.
Yeah, it's like watching the director's cut of Suicide Squad, where
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know why this just happened. Well, that's because they left it on the goddamn cutting room floor.
Yep.
Like there's literally character development in that movie.
Yep.
And there was none in the theatrical release.
No, the
See,
theatrical
I'm one of the
release
people
sucked.
that really dug Suicide Squad, though.
Theatrical like sucked.
I liked the idea and some of the execution, and a lot of the acting was actually really good.
Yeah.
Well, it's
But-
got Will Smith. You
Yeah,
cannot
you
fault Will
can't- you
Smith
can't-
for anything.
You can't fuck with Will Smith. You can't fuck with the Fresh Prince.
Damn it, you're fucking awesome. You both are fucking
No,
awesome.
I agree with all this. I did not agree with the pacing of and the plot.
The
of
pacing,
Suicide Squad.
the plot,
I did not.
the the plot was super weak. The plot was
Yeah.
super weak, and in
I
that
expected
movie,
some like
well, okay, not necessarily the plot. The main villain.
who you think is going to be part of the Suicide Squad.
Well, the main villain's like
Originally, she was.
like
From the trailer,
plan
though.
was nothing. It was just like death ray.
Yep.
Like that
Yeah.
part of the whole movie ruined the movie.
Here's where I'm at with it, and I'm going to say this again. I've talked about it on the podcast a lot. When
We will talk about Venom at some point.
We will get there. when I
Fuck, we were going to
pay,
talk about God of War today too.
when I paid
Jesus.
$10 for a movie ticket, I go into a film, unless it's something like Infinity War, which Blaine and I are seeing on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. We will be talking about Infinity War on this podcast. Stay tuned. But when I go to the film, or when I go to the movies to watch a film, I look at it as an overall experience.
Yes.
You know, I'm paying $10
That's
for
the
my
thing.
movie ticket. I'm paying $60 for my fucking concessions. It's an experience.
Cheap date.
Unless it's something that I have extremely high expectations for, I go in with the only expectation that I'm entertained.
Yeah.
So if I leave the theater after spending $75 and I'm entertained, I will not
Did it cost you $5 to go to the bathroom afterwards?
possibly.
Okay.
You might pitch that to AMC. You might be able to get some
Yeah,
kickback.
I might get a kickback.
But
He's trying to win a toy.
Oh, that's what it was.
Crane machine.
yep, don't forget air hockey. Don't forget fucking air hockey.
You just spent
dude.
$90.
$90.
Okay.
But if I leave the film entertained, I am not going to shit on it. I might review a movie poorly or a little bit harshly, especially we're in the age where superhero films are almost being done too much. And all of us grew up with such a affinity and love for these stories and these characters, and we're picking them apart, and we're judging what's going on in the films based on what has been done on pen and paper. And as long as I'm entertained, I'm okay with it. When I left Suicide Squad, I was entertained.
Yeah.
In the one scene specifically when Pyro fucking challenges a god.
Diablo.
Diablo,
yeah. Thank you. When Diablo challenges a
Pyro's
god.
a pussy.
When Diablo challenges a
Comparatively.
god and sacrifices himself for a group of fucking deplorable shithole fucking people, man, that was entertaining.
It was entertaining. That's actually my favorite part of that movie.
Thank you. Yes.
But my problem with specifically that part was that in the theatrical cut, you had no fucking idea that he was capable of anything like that.
Becoming a
a fucking like Aztec god of fire.
Avatar of fire.
Yeah, and like you had no idea that he was capable of that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the director's cut or whatever the fuck, this special edition that we watched like a couple weeks ago, he hints at it. He doesn't necessarily say that he's like that powerful, but he's like, it's been with this evil has been with me since I was born, and like he kind of like
so
hints at
it
stuff.
actually dives into the character backstory a
yeah.
little bit. Okay.
I need to rewatch the director's cut. I have it.
I
Yeah,
have not
you need to
watched
watch
the
it.
extended-
I have watched it, but
There's
I
a
need to
lot of
rewatch it.
scenes that like
Because even the dialogue in the bar
yeah.
is completely different than
That
what
scene
they
is like
released.
2 minutes long in the theatrical cut. It's like 7 minutes long
I hated the
in
theatrical cut.
yeah. It's like
hated it.
It's way longer. There's like an extra half hour maybe.
Yeah.
And
See, I would dig that much more.
Yeah.
And I liked the theatrical
and
cut.
it's great. I have to pee.
I do too.
I do too.
I'm gonna burst.
I am too.
Okay.
We'll go.
We're gonna pee in each other's mouths.
Go. We'll keep. Ooh.
Not on the stream. We got to charge for that.
Okay. It's Facebook. They might shut us down for that anyway.
If
Yeah, that's true.
if you need to use the restroom,
Okay.
It's right in the hallway.
and Mr.
Oh.
Mr. Lewis and I can talk some God of War real
Yeah,
quick.
Ryan needs to talk more.
I have not played it yet.
I haven't played very much.
No, and that's okay.
Please, spoiler free.
Spoiler free. We're just impressions.
Spoilers
This
will
is an
be at a
impression
minimum
review.
if he's the one directing this conversation because he hasn't had a whole lot of chance to play.
Yeah,
No, and
I might have a total of like 3.5 hours in right now.
I've got about 12.
So,
And that's
I'll
just-
be buying it
that's
on
playing since
Friday, and by Sunday I will have eclipsed his hour mark
Oh yeah.
by tenfold.
No, Tyler and we're gonna go into full review mode on the Game Addicts podcast, which will probably be next week. For the live stream, it'll be next week,
That makes sense.
and we're gonna try to move to a more we are recording, and then it is going to be audio literally the next day. We want
I wanted to announce that.
we want this show to be more
Relevant.
current and relevant to where we are.
Especially when I rant about something.
That way, there's not such a disconnect between the live, in terms of time and relevancy, from the live feed to the audio feed. There's a week's difference between the two, and I'm tired of having to differentiate the two.
So before you guys dive into God of War, I just have a quick question for you, especially somebody that's only played about 3 hours.
We still haven't talked Venom.
We'll get there. We'll get there when he gets
we're
back.
at 2 hours 18 minutes.
I'm okay with keep going. We need
All right.
we need to keep this conversation
We
going.
do. This is gonna be a long one.
How do you feel? Okay. Before I ask that question, let me ask you this question: did you play all of the original
Yes.
trilogy? Okay. How do you feel about
Like 4
Kratos at the beginning of this story? I mean, not even 10 minutes in. How do you feel about Kratos from the end of God of War to the start of this story? Do you feel like it fits?
I feel like there's a time gap.
Okay.
So like
Hey, Aaron Sperling says we need to get a half round table, 4 feet white granite.
God
Fuck off,
damn
Aaron
it.
Sperling.
Yeah, fuck off.
No one likes
I
you.
bitched about you a couple weeks ago. Get over your fucking table idea. We're gonna do a studio. Get the fuck over yourself. Joe Grimes, you may or may not listen
Sperling?
to this, but I'm gonna quote you.
Yeah.
And why don't you go outside and play hide and go fuck yourself?
You got
Boom.
that from me.
What?
You got that from me.
I don't give a shit. So my question was, how do you feel about Kratos versus where he's at the end of God of War 3 to the start of God of War 4?
I mean, it's not really a fourth.
It's a rebirth, but it
is-
is technically a fourth.
Right, I get it. But
His fourth continuous iteration
like
as
it's
Kratos.
just like the time gap because I don't, which I hope it gets explained
Okay.
because I don't know what has happened between the end of 3
Looks like he had a kid.
to 4. Yeah,
God, I don't know what would have made me thought that.
He moved.
He had some coitus?
He moved.
There was some coitus,
He-
approximately 9
he
years before.
relocated.
you know,
He immigrated to.
I just
Different pantheon.
figured out where this is taking place.
Okay.
So, and then like the first boss you fight, I just figured out who that was supposed to represent.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I just want to know what's happened in between.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that there's
That
going to be
gets
Some
fleshed out.
exposition.
yeah, which I mean, just like wandering around and listening to the two characters dialogue, and while you're just
So there's
Yeah.
a lot of banter.
there
oh
is.
yes,
Yes.
There's a ton of banter.
You're still learning about what's going on in the game and what
and you're learning the
could-
dynamic between the two.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I felt like what he was playing was still kind of tutorial-ish,
Okay.
but not like a press up to
Yeah.
look up kind of
Right.
tutorial.
Didn't
It's
do
kind of
any
like
of that.
you're running around with your kid and you're teaching him how to do certain things, and when you're doing that, you're learning some of Kratos' abilities and learning more about their relationship and
Okay.
Yep.
about what happened to his mother and why they are where they are and stuff like that.
Do you know who his mother is
Nope.
specifically? Okay.
Nope. She has never. By the point I'm at, she has not been physically
Named
represented.
shown?
She's been named.
Oh, okay.
I think that her name was given before the game was out. Her name is Faye,
Yes.
and she was a warrior.
Yep.
That's all we know.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all we know.
That was
Interesting.
one of the stories that Kratos actually told.
Bantered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while just rolling around in a boat
Yep. Yep.
looking for shit.
Okay.
So I feel like just like the world that this is taking place in, I showed him the map and I was like, dude, I haven't touched shit.
The map reminded me of maybe Far Cry 3 or 4 as far as the size. I don't know if
That
you
was
guys
one of my subjects tonight. One of my topics for tonight was your experience with Far Cry 5.
Okay,
I don't think
we
we're going to
can-
get to it, but
we can talk about that if we get to it, but I think it's a pretty big map for a game like that. That's
Yeah.
not really open world, but it is kind of open
Strictly
world.
story driven.
Yeah. But it seems like from where he's gotten to that you can go back and forth a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
between
there's
areas.
a lot of where I can return to certain places and do other things for certain people or for myself. Or
I think
whatever.
it's also kind of Zelda-ish.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like he doesn't have the abilities to do some of the things that he's come across.
Okay.
Yep. So I have to go back to.
So you got to go back to like open chests
to get,
and shit like that.
Because there's been a couple chests that I've came across that I can't open. Whether if it's because like I don't have a certain thing to open, or just like my character isn't, because you upgrade. You upgrade everything. You know, he's not upgraded to the point of where he can do it fast enough.
Okay.
So there's a lot of those that I'm coming across that I'm like, well, all right, well, mark this on the map so I can come back later.
Yeah, one of those I thought it was just because Brian's bad at video games. But,
Yeah, I'm not that great.
But
It's video games.
but
man. You
no,
don't have
like
to be good.
he actually did it pretty well a couple times and it didn't work, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe he needs to like upgrade his speed or something of one of his abilities so that he can do it and get that chest open. But it seems like it's kind of Zelda-ish in that way. Like, you need the bomb to get rid of this barrier so you can get to this thing and do that, or you need this like grappling hook so you can drag this thing across that or whatever.
The one thing I don't like though is like for some reason you can't jump.
Okay.
You can't just fall off the edge
You gotta
or
have a
anything.
interaction button come up.
Yeah, like, you know, there's only certain areas that there's only like one or two ways to like get up a wall. You know, even though you're Kratos, you should be able to just like climb this mountain. No, you gotta find certain areas. You know, you can't touch
Invisible
water.
walls.
So it's
I found
very
that-
Assassin's Creed-y.
Yeah, along those lines.
Do you personally, from the 3 to 4 hours that you've played, do you feel like this is the best iteration of Kratos this far? Or thus far?
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like hope and promise for this one, but I really liked Kratos from the second.
Okay.
Yes.
My final question to you, who's played a lot less than him, is do you think, from what you've played so far, that this game deserves the almost perfect score that it's getting kind of across the board?
Right now, no, because I haven't played very much. So
Well, and that's the reason I asked you and not him, is because you're almost...
yeah, I'm like,
These are like your maiden steps.
yeah.
You know?
mean, I think it has all the potential in the world for what they're saying, but I'm not going to read into it
Okay.
until I can actually give what I feel it deserves.
I think watching one battle with a large character that he played while I was watching, the struggles he had with the AI of his kid alone makes it to where it does not deserve a perfect score.
Okay.
Just like I'm not sure how controlling the kid works, but he was having a lot of problems on getting it to focus on the right enemy.
Okay.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a thing that shouldn't be anymore, because there's so many games that have AI companions.
Especially like right before that battle, though, he literally told him, "Don't focus on what I'm focusing on."
Yeah,
You know, and then that's all
all
the
it would
kid
do.
does.
Yeah,
I'm just like, fucker's not listening.
there's so many games that have AI companions where you can give them even like the most
Basic
simple commands, like look at an enemy and hit a button, and they focus on that enemy while you deal with other shit. And it doesn't seem to have that. I don't know if it.
The only, as far as I know,
You guys keep talking. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
where I am, the only command you can give your kid is fire an arrow at this,
Yep.
and that's where I'm at.
Okay.
12 hours in.
Yeah, so like I feel like
Uh,
that alone should stop it from having a perfect score.
But the fact that, okay, so you get certain perks and advantages to when, okay, so he can fire arrows, but he can also jump on them and choke them out.
Yep.
Yeah,
And you have
that's
certain
fine.
advantages to if you attack that person that he's choking out.
That's cool.
That's as far
But
as
if
it
you
goes.
can't control what
Yeah.
he's doing, then,
It's
then
all-
that doesn't have a lot of use.
you got to develop your strategy around what he's doing.
Yep.
Uh,
Like there's a point now where I'm just like, man, I have to like, I'm gonna have to go back and upgrade before I continue. Just
Yeah.
because like,
are you playing the balanced experience, or are you or harder?
just the first one. Is that just
The give me a they give you different like.
the one that's right under just like give me a story?
Okay, I started the balanced experience, which is that. Then I was like, fuck it, just give me a story, because that's really all I want out of this.
Right.
Is the story.
Yeah. I even before I played this one, I even went back
Pussies.
onto
The balanced experience was very difficult. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. I've
was
never
like,
played
I-
a fucking God of War game.
I was like,
so
this is-
I even went back and just watched just the movie clips
Yes,
from the past 3.
Miranda and I had Miranda watch the entire synopsis of
Because
the
I
God
have-
of War story.
I have
What about the sex minigame?
No,
someone has
It-
my
that was not included. Not by my choice.
Oh,
but
that's
by
too
the,
bad.
by the,
Did you just
the
bring up
creator.
the sex mini game?
I did bring up the sex minigame. That's all I have played of God of War.
Do you need to play anything else?
Did you
Really?
did you bang
So.
Aphrodite?
Yeah. What was the one where it was like 2 bitches in a pirate
That's the
ship?
beginning
That's the very
of the
first
first,
one.
game.
That might be another one too, but it's
There you
definitely it's definitely the very beginning of the first.
That's
game.
all I played of it.
Yeah, but I went back and rewatched all the storylines.
Yeah.
just because someone has my, I don't remember who. Someone has my remastered 1 and 2 for the PS3.
Yeah,
So I was like, I'm not just gonna go back and play 3 before. So I just went back through, rewatched just a refresher course, which is why I'm just like, when I started this game, I was like, wait, what
what's
happened?
really cool is none of this game has anything to do. Like they don't. None of it besides just what you know
Right.
already is
right.
part of this game.
Where
Well,
you're at.
Other
Yeah,
than
Yeah.
other than
so far.
like right in the beginning, where he's just like, "Why can't you
Whoa
be
there.
honest?" Like that's the only thing.
Yeah. Okay. As far as the reviews go, everybody's giving it 10, 9.5, 10,
see,
9.5.
It's almost
9.5,
perfect
10.
scores across the board.
Where I'm at, from my experience, I would give it a 7.5 to an 8.
Okay.
That being said, I love this fucking game.
Give me a game in the last year that you've played that's better than God of War. Just so I can
Horizon.
Okay. I have still not played Horizon, so.
I loved Horizon.
Okay.
Horizon was absolutely fantastic. Did I get pissed off at points? Sure. It took me a long time to get to a part in the game where I finally got fed up with shit. Because
Okay.
I just enjoyed it so much.
All right.
God of War, I got pissed off right away, but that's just typical God of War game.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember the very first God of War where I'm in Hades and I'm trying to fucking climb these fucking spinning spike pillars. Boy, oh boy!
I thought
did
you were
rage.
gonna say when you fight the Hydra and you fuck up.
Oh
the,
no,
the
I'm
stupid
not a
fucking-
I'm not a complete scrub.
the like button combo
yep.
because it's always slightly different.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, I'm talking about the fucking
I haven't
later in
came
the
across
game.
any of that in this game either.
Cool.
Later in the game when you're trying to climb the fucking spinning spike pillars, that pissed me off
Yeah,
so
that sucked.
fucking
It
much.
sucked bad. So are we ready to move on from God of War and wrap it up?
Are we
Wrap
gonna
it
talk
up.
about? Are we gonna talk Venom real
We're gonna
quick?
talk Venom real quick.
Let's talk Venom real quick.
Okay.
So I asked the question: who was excited previous to this trailer?
Oh, I'm
who
very
is now
excited.
excited after this trailer?
I'm even more excited.
We fleshed that out. I personally was not excited. I'm a big Tom Hardy fan.
Oh, let's not get on that tangent again. That's
We're
how we
not-
got
we're not-
way the
don't
fuck
get me
off.
wrong.
How did you feel about him as Bane?
Okay, so I'm a big
Fuck
Tom
you, Dick.
I'm a big Tom Hardy fan. I was excited initially that they cast Tom Hardy as Venom.
Yeah.
Or as Venom, not Venom.
Eddie Brock.
part of the reason I had, or part of the problem I had with Venom in general was Spider-Man 3. They cast fucking Topher Grace as Eddie Brock.
Fuck?
You know, and it's not me taking anything away from Topher Grace, because Topher Grace is a good actor. He should not have been typecast as Eric Foreman forever. But Topher Grace is not Eddie Brock.
No.
I'm sorry, he's not.
Any
No, he's
movie
not.
besides I think it's called The Double with Richard Gere, great movie. I love that. I actually really enjoyed that movie. Anything besides that he's been in, aside from
Predators?
No, not Predators. He was still Eric Foreman in that.
No, he did. He filled the role though in Predators.
The movie. I'm drawing a blank on it. It's Matthew McConaughey goes in space.
Interstellar.
Interstellar. Yes. He wasn't Eric Foreman in that, but he was just.
He's in that fucking movie.
He's barely in it.
That doesn't count then.
No. So Predators.
When is he in that fucking movie?
Barely.
When?
Like when his daughter's an adult. Yes, go back and watch it. He's in it.
Is he like the assistant?
Basically.
Okay, I remember now. Thank you.
But as in Predators, he was Eric Foreman until he became like serial killery.
Yeah, but he filled his role. He did a good job.
Yeah, you're right.
So anyway, I was not excited as much as I was excited about seeing Tom Hardy playing Eddie Brock, because if I was going to cast someone as Eddie Brock, I don't know that there would be many people that I would push in front of Tom Hardy to fill that role.
Blonde Tom Hardy.
Okay, thank you. You think of Eddie Brock as this muscle bound, very large, very jock Chad type person.
Chad.
And I had to bring
He's
it up.
chatty.
You had to give him a name. Trent. What's up, Chet?
Those are all Chads.
You push Tom Hardy as Bane, you know, his size and what he did to get in shape for that role. You push that into Venom, and okay, that makes sense. From what I've seen in the trailer, it looks like it's just regular Tom Hardy, and
Tom Hardy.
I'm okay with that.
He's still a big guy, regardless.
Right. Well,
He's
he's
still
not
a stocky guy.
He's not a very tall guy.
He's a pit bull.
He's like me, but cut.
He's
you
a
know?
pit bull. He's a fucking pit bull.
I was like up and down, and then I saw the teaser, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious?
There's no symbiote.
You fucking teased the fucking movie, and you didn't fucking put the symbiote in it
At all?
at all."
I mean,
What?
no, they did.
You saw it in the fucking like
see it
containment canister.
Yeah, and you see it crawling up just barely. Just
Yep.
crawling up his neck.
Yep. And
When
I was
he's
like,
in-
God. And then this fucking trailer, man. You
It's a
saw
tease.
you saw everything that you needed to see. And you know one thing that I loved, and part of the reason I'm super excited for this film, is it's not Spider-Man Venom. There's no web slinging, there's none of that shit. It is symbiote only.
Boo.
But think about it this way. Think about Disney. Disney is in the process of acquiring this material back.
Yep.
The deal is supposed to be done July, August.
No. That's Fox. This is Sony.
Okay, I'm sorry. The deal is supposed to be done with Fox July, August. They push for the rest of the year to get the rest of their properties back. And then the next Spider-Man movie is Tom Hardy as Venom being introduced to Tom Holland as Spider-Man, the symbiote leaving Eddie Brock to go to this badass fucking kid, gaining the spider powers from Peter Parker, and then Peter shunning the symbiote, and then it literally crawling back to Tom Hardy, who has been lusting for the power that he lost, and it brings the spider powers
That'd be a cool thing.
back to Tom Hardy.
But you need to watch that trailer again.
What do you mean?
There's spider webs all over that wreckage when they're talking about we found something.
Yeah, kind of.
Are you going to
Like,
call that spider web or just
there are
tendrils?
big fucking webs all over that fucking thing.
When I say spider powers, I mean there's no web slinging.
Yeah. Well, no, but
That's specifically what I'm pointing out.
Spider-Man is a huge part of. I mean, he is the reason that Venom is a thing.
Correct.
The way that the symbiote was introduced into the Marvel Universe was through Spider-Man and through Secret Wars in the 70s.
I really look forward to... I don't mean to
No,
jump
go
in
for
and
it.
cut you off, but I really look forward to them after Infinity War going Galactus, Secret Wars, or Secret Wars and then Galactus, because we have Thanos. Who do you go to after Thanos?
The rumor is that it's going to be Secret Invasion.
Okay, I'll be okay with that.
Because of the Captain Marvel movie.
Hell yeah.
Because
I don't think I know anything of that.
it's confirmed that she is at least Skrulls in it, if not part of the Kree-Skrull War.
Well, her movie is essentially going to take place in the 90s.
Right. Yeah, it's about Skrulls though.
Yeah.
So that's one of the rumors, is that it's going to be the beginning of Secret Invasion.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Which
The precursor.
Yeah, the precursor to Secret Invasion. Which I'm totally okay with. And people have been talking about a bunch of lines that they think in the previous MCU movies that lead to that. Which some of it is bullshit.
Reaching.
Yeah, a lot of reaching, but some of it, if they call back to it, would be cool.
Anyway, back to Venom.
Back to Venom.
I sidetracked us again. I can't help it.
We keep going away. We've been trying to talk about Venom for the last hour and a half.
Yeah,
probably.
Venom's power set is deprived from Spider-Man, and the other symbiotes that have never had anything to do with Spider-Man are more like what they showed in the trailer, which
you're calling out to Carnage, Anti-Venom,
and the ones
what was
in
the other one?
Poison.
Okay.
And there have been other times where they visited the planet that they're from. Specifically in Guardians of the Galaxy, when Flash Thompson had the symbiote and he was part of the Guardians, and they went to the symbiote planet and it changed the symbiote. It made it more like of a hero instead of the person in it trying to control it and make it do what they wanted. But I have a bit of a problem, probably because of my bias towards Spider-Man, that he's not involved in it, and that they're, again, for like the third time in a alternate media to comics, changing where it came from, that it isn't from the Battle World in the first Secret Wars, that it is not something that Spider-Man picked up, that he didn't know what it was, and he had inadvertently brought an extraterrestrial back to Earth. And how it got its powers, and how he dealt with it, and the way he got rid of it, and his interactions with Eddie Brock and the symbiote, and that being the reason that they become enemies. The reason, that's one of the reasons it chose Eddie.
If I remember right, though, in the animated series, didn't it come back with...
Came back with...
the astronaut...
Jameson's son.
Thank you. Jameson's son.
Yeah.
It came back with the astronaut, correct? Yeah. Okay.
And they were only on, like, the moon, or maybe Mars. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's...
Something like that. Here's why I'm okay with... Part of why I'm okay with it being not relevant to Spider-Man. This film is set in San Francisco.
Yep.
So at the end of this film, I would imagine Eddie Brock is going to be on the run from this company who has attained the symbiote. Why would you not go to a major population center to try and hide?
Right.
His next place is New York. Bam, tie into Spider-Man.
Right.
So...
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the other way around in the comics and everything.
Right.
He goes to San Francisco after he leaves.
Devin just sent me a text message.
What?
What were you guys talking about me? I missed it.
Oh,
Fuck you, Devin.
yeah, fuck you, Devin.
Yeah, fuck off.
Fuck off.
After the first couple times that they fight, he retreats back to San Francisco, and that's kind of where the first solo book, I think, of Venom takes place. Is
When Venom starts to become an anti-hero.
Yeah,
When Venom.
he said it about
Venom?
6 different
Venom.
times. Venom.
I'm slightly inebriated and I have tobacco in my
Symbiote
mouth.
Bane.
Stay the fuck away from me right now.
Yeah,
Symbiote Bane.
like I'm excited about it because I like the character and I like the actor, and I think they'd have a hard time of making a terrible movie at this point.
It's all up. Don't worry. It's
Okay.
Even though it's Sony,
We lost everything.
I mean, there's still the possibility that this movie
there
fucking
it is.
blows ass.
They aren't gonna make another
It's the Steelbook for God.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
They just aren't. And Spider-Man 3 wasn't was because of Sony.
Can't read this. Can't either.
So
I wasn't taught this language.
I believe they won't do it, but they could.
There's always the possibility.
There is always the possibility.
I feel like any production company in modern cinema, after they make a major mistake, like Spider-Man 3, and don't get me wrong,
Definitely a mistake.
there's a lot of things that I enjoyed from Spider-Man 3. I loved
Sandman?
their portrayal of Sandman.
I think he was a perfect actor.
I
to play Sandman.
really dig the actor. You know, he's had a lot of supporting roles, not necessarily lead roles. But I dug their casting and their portrayal of Sandman. I really liked.
Fucking wings came back around.
I loved Hobgoblin. You know, I really dug their version of Hobgoblin. You know, it obviously wasn't what I was used to, especially from the animated series.
Right.
You know, which is a big part of my childhood. But I dug what they did with Hobgoblin. Obviously, what they did with Peter was terrible.
Right.
But that scene where he's in the bell tower and he removes the symbiote from himself,
Yep.
it's like, okay, you did that. You did that 99% right.
Yes.
You know,
There were parts of the movie that were redeemable, and there were definitely parts that weren't, and those parts should have been cut. But they cut. I don't know that they cut good stuff, but they definitely tried to force too much shit in, and that was Sony. That was executive decisions to put more shit than Sam Raimi wanted to put into that movie. And I think
Sam Raimi did do this one?
yes.
Okay.
no, he did the third Spider-Man. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. I knew he did.
no,
the
he
first
did. He
two.
did all 3 of those.
Yes.
But I think like also part of why that movie was terrible was Sam Raimi having a bitch fit.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I think part of it was purposeful, because of the Sony meddling, because they wanted too much shit in there, and he told them time and again that it wouldn't work, and they made him do it anyway. And he's just like, fuck you then. I'm gonna have a 5-minute scene of Peter being a complete and utter irredeemable douchebag for no reason,
Right.
and fucking ruin this movie right in the middle.
Well, God, and, you know, we're talking about Venom, and their rendition of Venom was, for me, it was too much carnage.
It was a lot of carnage.
It was a lot of carnage, and you know, I shit on Topher Grace in this movie. I'm not gonna, like you said, I'm not gonna put the fault on Topher Grace. Their design element for Venom was terrible.
Yeah.
You know, if you just look at the head, that's not Venom.
No, there was no reason to have the webs on there.
No, not one reason to have the web.
They wanted to tie it together to Spider-Man, and I think they
With the
like
suit.
with the suit, and then also the I imagine the visual effects guys wanted some kind of like texture,
right?
because him being smooth, they didn't know. I imagine they didn't know how to make that not look
Weird,
super fake.
right?
So they went overboard, I think. But I don't know whose conscious decision it was to make him look like shit.
Yeah,
But it was someone's decision, and that's what I'm assuming happened.
Just the 7. Yeah, to make him look
Conscious
like
just.
shit. To make him look like shit. Like
I'm getting on you now, you fuck.
Venom is gonna be Topher Grace, and he's gonna look like shit.
Yeah,
And
that
he
was-
did. He
board
looked like
meeting.
fucking shit.
Somebody did that on purpose.
What do you think? You're very quiet in general.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about like the Venom story or anything like that. Just from what like when we talk about comics and stuff like that. If I have a comic book question or something, this is the dude I go to. But I wasn't. I was just like, oh, they're making a Venom movie, cool. And then we watched that trailer, and I'm definitely gonna go watch it. But a lot of it is because of what we've talked about earlier about like it's just mentally like what they did to Venom the first go around.
Mm-hmm.
And if
So you're looking
afraid
for a
of
little,
that.
You're looking
And
for
I'm
a little bit of
afraid that it's
redemption.
going
if you guys
to
recall,
not
at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, they teased Sinister Six, and it was
they did.
I didn't watch either of those movies.
it was slated to happen.
They teased it at the beginning or at the end of the first one because
Did
I haven't
they?
seen the second one
I don't remember the end of the first one, but
because somebody's in jail. Fucking Connors is in jail and he's talking to somebody, and then like somebody like walks through a hallway and like there's some Doc Ock arms on the wall.
I thought that was in the second.
that was
Is that the second one?
That's the
That was the
second.
Okay,
second
so
one.
I've only seen like the last 2 minutes of the second one then.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
the
watch
second.
either one of
no,
them.
yeah, they hinted at.
I was
like,
really excited for the lizard, and then I was like, you know what?
Hard pass.
Fuck this. I do not like you as Spider-Man. I do not like you
I-
as Peter Parker. I loved fucking Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. And
I did not.
I will say
Yeah,
that
I agree.
with utmost fucking certainty.
No.
Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man to me. Changed my fucking mind.
I like
Whatever
Tobey.
the fuck his name with the goofy, stupid
Andrew
fucking
Garfield.
haircut. Andrew Garfield, idiot.
Yeah, I didn't like Andrew
You're
Garfield.
not
wasn't a
fucking
huge-
Spider-Man.
I wasn't a huge fan of him. He did the
did the Peter Parker aspect.
yeah.
No,
he
not-
did the cocky Spider-Man.
Yes, exactly. He did
Like-
that really well.
But he
really
did that
well.
while he was Peter.
That's true.
and that didn't work.
No,
That's
right.
I still have
I
not
mixed it
seen
up.
Homecoming. I have it. I just have not had time to
Okay.
watch it.
No.
well,
watch it.
You need
I'm
to
gonna tell
watch
you
that.
right
From
now.
what I've seen from-
that's going to change your mind.
About
about
you
who the
believe-
best Spider-Man is.
Spider-Man is.
well, I'll tell you this.
Tom is
I'll tell you
amazing.
this right now. I loved Tom in Civil War,
Yeah.
and so many people shit on Civil War. Well, I loved.
Who? Give me their address.
I don't know
Right.
anybody that shit
Yeah,
on it,
like-
but they have.
We know a lot
problems
of
with
people
it.
that shit on Civil War.
I don't know anybody that shit
My
on
only
it.
problem
Not shit on it.
My
I know
only
people
problem-
that have issues with it.
with Civil War is there's two. I have two problems with Civil War. A, there are not enough fucking characters in it because is like a fucking who's who of every fucking buddy in everything in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
We didn't see Peter jump sides.
No, we didn't see Peter
No.
jump sides. There were a lot of people that jumped sides and we didn't see.
Essentially, Yep.
We
But
didn't see.
Well, we're talking about Spider-Man,
we
so
didn't-
I'm
we
calling
didn't-
him
Essentially,
out.
the Civil War story that we got in the MCU was the beginning of the Civil War story, just their version of the beginning.
Yeah.
We didn't get the full Civil
Right.
War, and you know that's just they couldn't tell the full Civil War in just one movie.
yeah, there's no way.
No, not at all.
And
got
we
the
didn't-
beginning.
we
We
didn't-
have a comment.
we didn't
from
get to see
Nevin
Steve.
Creasy.
Beat
Dude
up.
in the
Dude in the
middle.
middle is
But
cute.
guess what? There's two in the middle.
He's
right
talking
here.
about me because I work with him.
Well, you
My haircut's
you is cute.
So you need
We're-
to suck that dick.
Not gonna happen.
It's that D. Anyway, back to superheroes.
I'm sad that I didn't get to see
Hi, Nevin.
Steve kick Frank's ass.
Right.
Like that whole thing with Frank being part of Civil War was like one of my favorite parts of Civil War because he was like, "Oh, well, this is what you're saying, and this is what I'm gonna do," and then they were like, "No, we can't do that." And he was like, "What? No, that's we're fucking soldiers. This is a war, guys." They're like, "No, we can't hurt anyone," and yeah, and it was
I think,
hilarious.
I think that's why, like when it comes to the Marvel universe, I think Punisher is my favorite.
Oh, he's definitely my top 5. No
Yeah,
doubt.
because he has hard lines in his his morals, and he follows them.
Yeah.
That's part of the
versus,
reason I like Blade so much.
Yeah, but like everyone else like shifts so much and like bends so much to not become what they are trying to stop, like Batman and stuff like that, and like it becomes tiring to see them constantly do that.
Right.
And-
Especially when it perpetuates, like, if you would have just killed this motherfucker, this would be done. Oh, he's escaped from Arkham again.
Yep.
What do you know?
Yep.
You know,
That's
that's part of what I have a problem with the Batman character.
yeah.
Well, I mean, so
And I get it. I get his character. I get why he doesn't do it.
so you would prefer like a Red Hood?
Yes. Very much so.
Red Hood's basically like Punisher Batman.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But he is portrayed more as a villain than what Punisher is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, because that's how okay. I imagine in his own books, he's probably not portrayed that way, which is kind of how Frank is in the MCU. Well, not the MCU, but in the
Comics.
In the comics, like in other people's books, he's usually the guy that takes it too far, and they have to
okay.
stop him.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
I want
So, like-
to point out the PlayStation 1 Spider-Man game. When you encounter the Punisher, it's like, whoa, the Punisher's a bad fucking dude. Like, he's involved in this. Like, there's a problem.
Yeah,
You know, and a lot of times, I didn't mean to bump you, but a lot of times that's
fine.
exactly
that's how he's portrayed in,
it's like,
in
this
other
guy
people's
goes way
comics.
too
Look at the
far.
upcoming Deadpool
Yeah.
movie,
Boom.
Cable. That he is portrayed in all of the posters as like a teammate kind of thing, and you
Right.
know, in the Deadpool game, he is your companion.
Yep.
Essentially, and then in this movie, trailer 2 drops, and boom, he
Well,
is.
Cable's a
I
bad
haven't-
motherfucker.
he is
when
the
he wants to
villain.
be.
I haven't
Or
watched trailer
he is-
2 yet.
He is a. Oh, watch trailer 2.
I'm trying to stay away because I just want to go
Well,
and see the
okay.
movie.
Cable is basically sort of like
He's doing what he can to fix the future. Correct.
right. Yeah, he will come back and kill a motherfucker. He doesn't care if he's got kids, if it's going to save the future.
Cable is a bad fucking
That's
dude.
that's how it is.
He
like,
he has hard lines.
yes,
And his hard lines are
based
the
on
future.
fact
Yes.
Yeah.
of his timeline.
Yes.
He will come back and kill a motherfucker, even if it's the best person in the world, if that will save his timeline.
Yep.
That is how.
And then he gets
Cable
laser
is.
vision and everything else.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Deadpool 2.
Yep.
We're going, hopefully, I don't know, you and I might not, but me and Miranda are definitely going IMAX.
We're going to IMAX to fucking see it. It's
okay,
confirmed.
so, it's confirmed?
It's confirmed.
You, me, Miranda,
And my wife, yes.
and
it's
Skylar.
confirmed.
Tyler Skylar.
We're seeing Deadpool, not Infinity War, in
Skylar?
IMAX. Should
Skylar?
be the other way around. But we're seeing, yeah. Back to Venom, though. What we've tangented from yet again.
This entire podcast has been a tangent away from talking about the Venom trailer.
We're in the fucking tangent
The
oasis
title of the
right
show
now.
are We're Not Talking About Venom.
Tangent Oasis. So, what do you guys feel about the suit?
Yeah, we
if
get the
it-
Are you
actual look.
okay with the suit? Yes or no?
I want to see more,
I'm-
but from the initial look, I'm slightly for. I'm okay on the spectrum of left to right. There's the middle.
Just
I'm
interrupt him. That's what I do.
I'm slightly to the right of the middle.
You know,
Okay.
I'm for it, but I'm not completely for it.
I do. I want to see more of it, but the ending of that trailer, where you see it like take over,
It envelops him.
right? Like,
Skylar says we are.
Yes.
Now we are.
like I was like, okay, that reminds me of Venom from the animated series.
7 feet tall, a
You
big
know-
motherfucker.
Then that tongue just comes out, and you're just like, all right. So, but I want to see if, like, when it does take him over, like, is he gonna get
Bigger.
I really enjoyed the fact that there's this duality. There's something. The symbiote is a character rather than it's just a suit.
I also really like that Tom Hardy is voicing the symbiote.
Yeah. I know it's not. If it doesn't have anything to do with Spider-Man, I know it's not going to have it. But what are they going to have instead? Are
you talking about?
Yeah, like he has the fucking chest? Logo. Like, I know logos are for marketability, but it is also iconic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is a very iconic image.
That could come after the Tom Holland crossover.
That should not be like 3 movies in. That should be first movie. He should have the fucking logo.
I don't disagree with you a bit. I'm interested to see
what the rest of him looks like.
Where the symbiote, well, not necessarily just that, but where the symbiote ends up at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
And we're supposedly supposed to get Carnage this movie.
They could very easily separate the symbiote from Tom Hardy in this movie.
Right.
Possibly. We're supposed to get Carnage possibly with Woody Harrelson.
Yes. That's the rumor right now, that Woody Harrelson is going to be playing Carnage.
I want to see the...
I am not excited about that.
That doesn't...
Fellow Hanover dropout.
I'm going to look up
not
something
excited about that.
real quick.
He went to Hanover?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
There's an actor in the movie... what the fuck? Movie.
Predator's Convict.
There's the convict guy, the guy that played the convict.
Type in Predator's Convict or you'll never find it.
No, I'm going to find it.
You had to go to fucking IMDb. What a piece of shit.
What are you doing?
Full cast. There's a guy in here that I think would play the perfect fucking Carnage. And I'm not.
That's him.
Walton Goggins.
Oh.
Yeah. I think he would play the perfect
he would play
fucking
the
Carnage.
perfect Cletus Cassidy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
I was thinking that or like a cracked out Matthew McConaughey.
Oh.
I talked about this today at work, and I really want to see McConaughey in the MCU doing something.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Something. I want to see McConaughey in it.
I just don't know what.
What about Tom Cruise's Carnage?
What?
That was a joke. That was a joke.
All right.
It should be a thumbs down for
Guys,
everyone.
we officially crossed the line of longest Podcastrophe episodes long ago. We are at 3 hours.
Sorry.
We gotta start closing it, goddammit.
Okay. Ending of Far Cry 5 sucked.
I still have not. Okay.
Topic crossed off list.
I have to say this. I refuse to play any more Far Cry games. I bought the second one used at GameStop. Loved it. I bought the third one. I thought personally the third one was mediocre. People loved it.
Yeah.
Mediocre. I did not play the fourth one. I looked at it. It was the same game as the third one. I've seen the fifth one, and it is the third and fourth one in the United States, and I do not want to play that anymore.
Primal's different.
I don't count that.
I'll let you borrow it.
They're all similar in gameplay, but they're the third and fourth one. The storyline is pretty different.
The story in
the fourth one has a really good story.
You might agree with me. The third one, or the storyline in the third one, was very weak.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like the idea of the Far Cry games was basically like some guy randomly gets stranded in a tropical place and has to fight his way out and find some crazy shit.
Right.
And that was the first Far Cry game, and that was like kind of how the other ones went out. But
I really dug the second one.
There's reasons for them being there in like the last three, but the storyline in the fifth one is probably the weakest.
You think so?
And the ending was dog shit.
Which ending did you get?
All three endings are not great.
Okay.
At least the second ending that I didn't do, I only did the last ending.
Is that the secret one?
No.
Okay.
This is where you actually fight the boss at the end and everything happens. That is the worst ending.
Okay.
Completing the game and beating the boss at the end gives you the worst ending. That just like makes me want to fucking cut my own throat. Okay, like taking the hours and hours it takes to play a game and complete it to the point that I completed it to, and beating the last boss, and you get shit on.
That's kind of how I felt about like Arkham Knight.
Yeah, nothing you did mattered.
The secret ending was the better ending.
Yeah.
But you had to.
Well,
like,
secret endings being better
But
is one thing, but like the ending should have some kind of fucking payoff.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Anyway, like I said, we're running long.
Yeah, anyway.
We got to get going. So these guys, they're only human.
Yeah, we're in a band.
We're in a
I know
band.
we talked
didn't
about it
really-
for like 15 seconds.
Well,
Please check their band out. Buy their music online, or is it available?
We don't have any physical copies at the moment.
Yeah. Get
It's
their
on
music.
Spotify.
Get their music.
Spotify,
Only
iTunes.
humans. Only humans.
We also have a GoFundMe since our
Yes,
fucking
please check that out.
our shit burned up in a
Yeah.
house fire.
shout out to Nick for.
That's
starting
why we
that
had
up.
you guys on tonight.
Yep.
Was
Yeah.
to promote that GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Like,
We tried to talk about Venom for 3
Yeah,
hours.
well-
Facebook.com/onlyhumanofficial.
Tried to talk about Venom.
That's what I said. We tried to talk about Venom for
I know.
3 hours.
Keyword tried.
On our Facebook page, it'll be shared.
We're gonna share it across the Journey into Comics network.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. We're in the process of talking to Nick, setting up a date.
Yeah, for a
for a
benefit show.
show.
Yeah.
I have never been to a Doom Room show. I had a really crazy work schedule starting in 2013. So
It's
when
never
all,
stopped.
when all the I know, I just recently stopped having that crazy work schedule. So now that I have the ability to live like a normal human being, I will now be attending Doom Room shows.
Well,
Dope.
So,
we are
You're on a hiatus, right?
yeah. We already have things in the work, so we will be playing the benefit show.
Sweet.
Hopefully, we'll have gear by then, but we're not
probably
sure yet.
I've
Like,
offered some of my gear up. You guys know
we've had several people offer it up. We played this past Friday.
Yep.
We played
At
for the 420 spring show.
Yep. At the
Which also
Conservation
thanks
Club.
to Jake for taking donations for us because that was a free show. But thanks to all the bands that performed and allowed us to use their gear.
Yeah.
I beat the shit out of that bass, tore my hand up.
It was his bass.
Yeah, it was my bass.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
We had our backup guitars at home.
Our main guitars now.
Our main guitars now. So our other ones are Cinder.
Well, hopefully you guys can get back up on your feet real soon. Because, I love you guys' music. I love you guys.
Stop sucking my dick.
I will. I will
Or
continue.
Can
I?
Till you're...
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
hell yeah.
he's definitely going to. You made a best friend tonight.
Yep.
God, we need to sit
But-
down and just chat.
You guys will definitely get that chance, but...
How would you guys feel if I brought a didgeridoo to your show? Would you let me come up on stage with a didgeridoo?
Absolutely.
This is a legitimate question.
Absolutely.
Is that the thing that you blow on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aboriginal.
What's the fucking thing that you spin around on the string?
What?
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 It's another Aboriginal
I don't know.
instrument. It's like it's not a boomerang, but it's like a piece of wood, and you tie it on a rope, and you swing it real fast, and it makes a crazy ass noise.
I have no idea what you're
Interesting.
talking about.
Oh, dude, you gotta
As
look that up.
educated as
That's
I am,
fucked
I
up.
have no ground to stand on in this.
Okay, that's what I was like. Man, it might be kind of tight on stage if that's what you're talking about.
No.
Anyway, I've been Dick.
I've been
Bye.
Tyler.
These guys have been Only Human, Ryan
Bye.
and Shane.
Shane,
Please check
Ryan.
us out
Puddin'.
on the Journey into Comics
Call me
Network.
Puddin'.
You can subscribe to Journey into Comics on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, all the podcasting fucking
he's
media.
plugging his shit. Why?
and if every Wednesday at around 5:30, you can catch us on
End
Facebook
the show.
Live. So
End it.
go ahead,
Jesus.
please make every day a big
I need
dick
food.
day.
Heritage.
Bye, guys.
gonna be a big dick day. Gonna be a big dick day.